Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, the Mariners get back to it this afternoon. Game one of their three-game series against the visiting Baltimore Orioles. Logan Gilbert takes the hill for the Mariners, looking to get them back in the win column, facing off against Brandon Young. You can catch it all starting at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Meanwhile, the Mariners make some roster moves. Cal Raleigh has been reinstated from the IL with that right oblique strain. J.P. Crawford also reinstated from the 10-day IL with his right hand contusion. Johnny Pereda has been optioned back to AAA Tacoma.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Happy Tuesday to everybody out there on another gorgeous day outside. The sun is shining. The Mariners are back to business in town. They are the Baltimore Orioles. Game one of that series coming your way at 5:30. We'll turn you over to the pregame show. But before that, we're going to catch up with Colt Emerson's high school baseball coach and assistant football coach. He was both at that high school. Brad Barclay will join us at 3 p.m., so stay tuned for that. Charlie Furbush will join us for his weekly conversation. He'll join us in studio at 4 o'clock, spend the hour with us, and then we'll talk to El Hombre Michael Bradley at 5 p.m. before we turn you over to the Mariners pregame show. So there you go. Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. You want to weigh in on the Mariners and your feelings about them as they get back to it after a not-so-successful road trip, but the Mariners making some roster moves that we knew were coming in the way of Cal Raleigh being reinstated, J.P. Crawford being reinstated. John, we were talking yesterday about, well, what do they do at the catcher spot? Do they keep three catchers? They run with three catchers on the roster? And no, they're going to stick with two, and those two will be Cal Raleigh and Mitch Garver. So Johnny Pereda is on his way back to AAA Tacoma.
Johnny Pereda, actually had a pretty good average going. I don't know. Do you think it was the right move?
Nope.
I would make
absolutely not.
Okay.
100% no.
Make your case.
He's a better baseball player than Mitch Garver.
Already then.
The end. I mean, he's a better hitter. He's a much better defensive catcher.
Yeah.
The only unknown, as we talked about yesterday, is level of comfort with the rotation. How do they feel about how he calls a game versus how do they feel how Mitch calls a game, which should be a big part of it. Maybe that was a big part of it. That's the only thing that we, in the media, fans, we can speculate, but they know. So maybe behind the scenes, the rotation is more at ease with Mitch Garver back there. But if we're just going off, what do they bring to the field that our eyes tell us? There isn't anything there that I look at Mitch Garver and go, well, he's better than Johnny Pereda at this. I guess he's presumably more of a power threat, although it doesn't show up very often. But maybe that's the one area to the naked eye I'd say, okay, the threat is more so with Garver, but he's not a better hitter. He doesn't get on base more. He doesn't hit for a better average, and I don't think he's better behind the plate.
Yeah, Johnny Pereda, 270 average. And it was kind of sneaky when I looked that number up just because I wasn't really paying that much attention to his average. He's got 2 home runs, 4 RBI, and he looks really good behind the plate. But you're right. I mean, this is something that, we know how important it is for Cal Raleigh and the job that he does with, not only his bat, but also with the rotation. And, Garver seems to have a pretty strong link with George Kirby. And then just, like you said, if you asked Dan about it, he would probably say, yeah, it's absolutely because of, what he brings to the pitching staff. So, yeah,
and that's fair. If that's the deciding factor, then I get it, because that's your first priority.
Yeah,
is managing that guy that's on the mound. and managing the guy that comes out of the bullpen and getting them through a tough inning and getting them, knowing which button to push with this guy when he's scuffling or when his slider's not working. Okay, here's what we're going to do, plan B. Right. Here's how we're going to get around this. And if that should be your first priority, and if that is the case with him, where Garver just has that element over Pareda, then as much as I look at Pareda and go, he's a better baseball player, that's got to go. That's got to be the priority.
Yeah, no, there's no question, and and that's just one of those things we're left to speculate on, and that's the kind of conversations that Dan's having with these guys. Pareda was just fun to watch, and he was a great story. And I remember when he hit his first home run, everybody was in there interviewing him. It was really cool. And it's encouraging that you have a guy like that just in case somebody gets an injury. But yeah, I think really the most important part of this team is probably your rotation. And so Mitch Garver is the guy that is best at handling that. So yeah, it's good to know though. Like I said, you got somebody at catcher because that's a position like in the minor leagues that we don't really talk about.
Yeah, we talked to John Morosi about this yesterday before we knew Cal was coming back. I mean, now it's official, but it's not a surprise. We knew that was going to happen. And we were talking about the fact that, are they going to carry 3 catchers? What are they going to do there? And he brought up the idea of, just in terms of how he would address this.
Pareda, to me, has earned the right to still be a part of this team, in my opinion. Now, what that means for Garver in terms of creating potentially some redundancy, believe me, Garver's the kind of guy, and we'll see how this all plays out. Is Garver someone that would have some trade value out there to help you bring back a reliever now? I would not be opposed to that concept, just because when you look at how long Garver is signed for and then the Pareda possibility, Pareda could be with this team for a long time, and he has shown he's a good two-way catcher. For me, he stays on the team, and then you see if there's a way to potentially move Garver to a team that has a greater need for a catcher right now. That's what, and to maybe bring back a reliever in return.
Now, interesting, thought there, but I don't honestly know what the market would be for Mitch Garver. I don't know what you could reasonably expect to get in return for him. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's not making a ton of money. That the contract he signed expired, the big one, the $12 million a year one that they initially signed him to. He's making his contract for this year, according to Spotrac, was $2.25 million. So any team that obviously traded for him would just pick up the remainder of that, prorated, whatever that number is. So it's not an albatross around a team's neck going, well, now we got this guy for years to come at a ridiculous rate. No, it's just for this year.
Yeah.
So maybe that would make it appealing. I don't know who's bringing him in to be there. We need a catcher. I think you're bringing him in for the potential of his bat. Because remember, when he was brought here, he was not brought in to catch. He didn't catch. He was their DH. Mm-hmm. He didn't. That was not part of the plan to have him behind the dish. That happened because he wasn't getting it done at the plate, and they were trying to get him started. And maybe this will get things going for him if he can get in the game, and he's a part of it, and he's catching. And that's how that worked out.
Yeah, I mean, Garver, that's a position that hasn't been filled really since Nelson Cruz, right?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as the DH goes, and so and that there was lots of high hopes, and I know things didn't go well for him in the beginning, and then the fans kind of got on him and everything. But like to answer your question, like if I don't know. I mean, if you can trade him away and get, especially if it's a bullpen piece, I feel like they always do a good job with that and getting the right guys in here. That maybe that's something down the road that could happen. That would be interesting because, like you said, he's not making a ton of money.
Yeah. I mean, you guys can text in on this 866-979-3776. People saying Hancock and Pareda were not on the same page 2 starts ago. I don't recall that. I'm not saying they were or weren't. I don't remember any.
How were you able to tell that they weren't on the same page?
Maybe they're looking at him shaking him off. I guess I don't really know. I'm not sure what they're referring to, but I didn't hear anybody speak of it. I don't.
Hancock was wearing a pitch comm, so maybe that's what they're talking about. He called his pitches last start. And Pareda was
this most recent one?
This most recent one. So what was that, Sunday?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Then I would recommend he doesn't do that anymore because it didn't go well.
Yeah.
If Hancock was calling his own pitches, maybe he puts the pitch comm back down because he got lit up and he was throwing cookies up there. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe there was something that they weren't on the same page with, and he felt he needed to do that. But yeah, that didn't go well. So I don't know if it's because of that, but
well, and you think about the differences night and day between Pareda and Cal Raleigh. I mean, Cal on his own show was talking about how he'd sort of talked to Hancock about not being too pitcherish and just changed his arm slot and was like, just go make some throws from shortstop. And so yeah, that's the huge amount of value that he has, and so that'll be interesting to see if Cal has that effect right away, because he sure seems to.
Yeah, he's look. I mean, he's got the most experience with all of these guys. He came up with Logan. He came up with these guys. So they have a history. You're not gonna duplicate with Garver. You're not going to duplicate with Pareda, and probably a different level of trust. And Cal knows the intricacies of all of these guys. Well, if I do this with Logan, he's going to respond this way, and if I say this to Kirby, he's going to respond this way. So he's got all of that, and neither of the other two are going to be able to trump that. So yeah, it's an interesting move. We'll see. Does Garver become a guy that, I don't know, is he going to be used more maybe in the short term because they're going to maybe baby step Cal in there? Maybe he DHs more to make sure everything's okay with the oblique. They don't want to put too much on him early. I'm not sure how they're going to handle Cal going forward, or if they just say, "Yep, we're going to treat it like it's opening day, and you're our pretty much everyday catcher you'll get your regular breaks," or how they're going to handle that. The other guy that's interesting to see is Refsnyder, and what their patience level is. How long do they roll with him before they go, it's just not working. It's just not happening, because right now it's not happening. He's hitting a $148. He's got a .212 on base percentage. He's got 2 home runs and 9 runs driven in. Mm-hmm. He's just not been what you signed up for. And maybe they feel like he's getting close. Maybe often they'll see something in at-bats that don't produce. They don't produce a hit, don't produce a, driving in runs or anything, but they'll say, I like that swing. He was on that fastball, or he's seeing that breaking ball. He's right there. So maybe they're seeing something that we at home are not seeing, but me at home, I'm not seeing it. Yeah. I don't know how long they roll with him in the, lefty on the hill, we're throwing Refsnyder in there. Mm-hmm. To me, if Robles isn't in the game, he should be first always off the bench. If he's not already in the game and you're looking for a right-hander, I would put him in 10 times out of 10 over Refsnyder.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And then I just anything to get more Robles on the field. But yeah, I mean, it's and once he gets on base, which he tends to do, he does some damage. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with Refsnyder. That's another one of those that is kind of like a head scratcher, and there's something going on. Maybe they're seeing something on film. It's just like football, it's like, maybe he's really close to something and he's on the verge of it and he's working towards it. It also has probably a lot to do with what conversations they have. Where's his headspace, all that stuff. But yeah, I was just looking at his career splits, versus right-handed pitchers, 227, left-handed pitchers, 269. He's hit 25 home runs against left-handed pitching and 11 against right-handed pitching. So I mean, it's definitely there, and that's what he was brought in for. But yeah, I wonder where he's at right now and how much tolerance they're going to have with him.
Yeah, and the other part, that's kind of to, I guess, defend him a bit is when you don't play very often, when you're in the lineup as infrequently as he is, it's going to be hard to find your timing. It's going to be hard to find your rhythm. So just to be fair about it, it's hard to expect him just to not play for 3-4 games in a row, and then all of a sudden he gets thrown in the middle of the 5th game and go up there, make something happen. I mean, that's his job. That's what he was brought in to do. But I guess that's probably harder than we give credit for, when you're not getting those turns, you're not getting that rhythm out there. So Jeff Passan was talking with Brock and Salk, and he was explaining why he still believes in Refsnyder.
I'm not giving up on Rob Refsnyder yet. I'm just not.
Right.
I have seen the man kill left-handers for multiple teams and multiple places for too many years now to think that what we've seen from him so far is who he is. There is an organization full of people right now in the Seattle Mariners who know the answer to that specific question better than I do.
Yeah.
And they are still holding on to him. And we're at the point now, guys, where I don't think they're holding on to him for pride's sake.
That's interesting because I think a lot of people think that, that it does come from that standpoint that, okay, we signed him and we don't want to say we're wrong right now. And that's good to hear. I'm sure that he has some information in that regard, but yeah, just very curious to see what their tolerance is for Refsnyder.
Yeah, they made an investment in him. It's not a huge investment, but I don't know, to dismiss, I don't know if it's pride, but I think there's hey, we believed in this guy in the offseason. We've seen what he can do. Well, let's play this out a little bit. I think they're a little loath to pull the plug early on a guy like that. So, what their level of tolerance is, though, is look, you got a half-game lead right now. And you got to put the lineup in place that gives you the best chance to win, regardless of contract, regardless of what you thought of this guy at the beginning and who they were then, who they are now. Run out your best 9. Who gives you the best shot to win? Mm-hmm. And, even if that means, typically when it's a lefty on the hill, we're going with this guy. And when it's a righty on the hill, we go with this guy. Maybe you need to deviate from some of that.
Yeah.
And just give me my best 9. These are the guys that I feel most confident in right now. They're the ones that are seeing the ball, lefty, righty, be damned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the pride thing, that kind of goes. I think a lot of people think that is more of a reason than it is in professional sports because it's the same way, when in football. You don't care how much you paid him. You don't care where he was drafted or anything like that. It's just, unless you have salary cap problems, but once you get into the season, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where they were drafted. The best player is going to play. So, and they think that he gives them the best opportunity. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how they handle Refsnyder. How the other part is the pitching is just sort of the rotation is a bit of a question right now. And Adam Jude sent out a tweet earlier today that sort of alluded to this because we talked about how it was in the Brian Wu spot. It says TBA, and haven't heard anything about injuries or anything like that. But this Adam Jude a couple hours ago said Mariners are reassessing their 6-man rotation, are expected to announce details later today. Okay, so I'm not sure what details we'll get, if they're going to stick with it. They're going back to the piggyback. They said, per source, Kade Anderson and Ryan Sloan are not part of the team's immediate plans. Expectation remains for both prospects to figure into the M's mix in some capacity by late summer. Mm-hmm. So nothing right now, but certainly something down the road, it sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, it was interesting. I was just thinking about what John Palmarosi said about Kade Anderson, and that, basically said the statistics are undeniable.
Yeah.
That, and so... But yeah, it's once again very very interesting that ultimately your problem is that you have too much talent or you have too many choices, and and I don't know that Kade Anderson is. We heard from one analyst that maybe put him in the bullpen in the playoffs, but you don't want to bring him in, and then JP talked about the innings pitched and it affecting down the road, so. But yeah, again, I like to think of it as these are problems for them, how they're going to move pieces and everything. But the underlying theme is that you have really good pitching. You're trying to figure out how to maximize it.
Yeah, one of the other questions with the return of these guys, I'm curious, do you automatically throw J.P. Crawford back in the leadoff spot? And if so, where do you hit Cole Young? Because we were just talking yesterday about he's, one of the true bright spots on that road trip was Bryce Miller and Cole Young, who had a hit at least one hit in every game except one.
Yeah.
He's had a hit in every game in the month of June except that one. He's had a hit in 20 of his last 23 games, at least one.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a guy that I want him to get as many turns as possible. So do they – I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they say, JP, you're back in that leadoff spot. Where are they going to put Cole Young?
Yeah.
Because I'd like to see him, again, as many turns as possible. I think is a good thing for this team right now.
Yeah, no question. You just go back and look at the hits. The last 5 games. He's got 10 hits. I mean, he's just been crushing it. So yeah, I'd love to see him move him up, but we've been talking about that, and maybe it's he's in the right spot, and we talk about the more at bats that you get, the more you get moved up, and so it'll be interesting to see how they hang with that. I don't know. JP just seems like a guy that can come right off the injured list and be what he was when he got there. At least that's what it seems like to me whenever he has gone on the IL.
Yeah, and he's almost always going to give you a good plate appearance, even if it doesn't result in a hit. He's going to make the pitcher work. It's a rare occasion you see him 3 pitches and he's down. It just does not happen that often. So he's a guy who sees a lot of pitches and obviously helps the guy who's sitting on deck. So yeah, we'll see what the lineup looks like, how they play this out, but we'll be expecting to hear some news from Justin Hollander later on in the afternoon. Right now, let's take 2.
Yeah, no lineup out yet. I know there's a lot of news still to come, so maybe a little bit of a later lineup reveal for the Mariners. But this is maybe an indication of what the M's have dealt with positionally throughout this season. The first round of All-Star voting came out, and no one is in the top 5 at any position for the Mariners. A handful of guys are 6th and lower, including Cal is 6th. Maybe just popularity. Julio is at 6th among AL outfielders, and then a guy like Cole Young is 7th. A couple of guys sprinkled through there, but no one in the top 5 at any position of the All-Star voting.
Randy is the guy that deserves it the most.
Yeah, he's 7th among AL outfielders behind Julio.
Yeah, it is name recognition. It is a bit of, obviously, when it's a fan vote, it's a popularity contest for a large portion of the fans, and they know Cal's name. I mean, the fact that Cal's in it and has missed as much time as he has tells you it's a popularity contest. So yeah, hopefully that evens out a bit. But if you're talking about who truly deserves it, I'd say Randy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's his bat for sure. I mean, I think there's always kind of a question mark about his defense and some of the routes that he takes. But, yeah, I mean, he has really propped them up a number of times during this season. So, yeah, I would think he would have been in there.
Well, that division lead has gotten a little bit tighter. The A's had a series that started last night against the Pirates. They won that first game, so they're only a half game back. That continues this evening, and then they wrap that up tomorrow. The Rangers, they also had a series starting yesterday. They lost the Twins. They're a game and a half back, but the A's are right there, and the Rangers not too far behind the Mariners.
Yeah, Rangers had been rolling, and I just saw something on the bottom of the screen look like Corey Seager going on the IL with a concussion situation or something, so he's going to be out of the lineup. A's, I'm waiting. I don't completely buy into their rotation, and maybe I'll be proven wrong by the end of the season, but I feel like at some point that's going to come back to bite them. But right now half game out, they're hanging in there, certainly more than a lot of people gave credit for.
Yeah, I would have thought that the A's would be that team that would, because it just seems like the Astros they just suck this year, and
that's too bad.
Beautiful thing, but yeah, they're kind of sneaking up on them a little bit. So not so comfortable when we talk about, hey, they're leading the AL West when you're one game above 500 and somebody's within a couple of games of you. I feel like any team could all of a sudden get healthy and start to take off, and that team has to be the Mariners.
Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. High expectations for one part of the Mariners roster means increased scrutiny as well. Get into that coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
The first-place Mariners return home from the longest road trip of the season. A little worse for the wear.
Some injury concerns.
Naylor fouls it off his foot.
Andres Munoz left. It sounds like it's back tightness.
Let's get home before anything else happens.
Get the very latest Mariners injury news at seattlesports.com. And listen as the M's return home to T-Mobile in the first of 3 against the Orioles. Tonight, first pitch at 6:40 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman for Swedish Cyberknife, and June is Men's Health Month, and Swedish Cyberknife is encouraging men to break the stigma and talk about their own health with family members and medical professionals. Find out about your family medical history, as conditions like prostate cancer can increase your risk. When detected early, prostate cancer has several viable treatment options, and one of the most effective treatment methods for prostate cancer is offered at Swedish Medical Center. It's right here in Seattle. Swedish Cyberknife requires requires only 5 short treatment sessions, each lasting less than an hour. Non-surgical, non-invasive, and patients can typically maintain their usual day-to-day lives. This June, during Men's Health Month, make sure to place an emphasis on discussing your health with family and medical professionals. Ask about family history of medical conditions or disease. So to learn more about CyberKnife for prostate cancer treatment, go to swedish.org/CyberKnife Prostate or give them a call, 206-320-7187. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
I go to Starbucks every day. They introduced the app a number of years ago. I was a very early adopter to mobile ordering with their app. That's an efficiency for me. I don't need the cashier experience. I don't need standing in line. Customers want the same thing. We video inspect all of our cars when they come in for a service appointment. So when we're doing a maintenance visit here, we do a video inspection of your vehicle. The technician shows you what your tires are at, what your brakes are at, what your filters are at. That's what we're sending to people. They open it, they look at it, they're in a meeting. But we've met them where they want to be met for quick and efficiency. And that's meeting a lot of new tech customers, but also just transparency.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 22nd, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add one line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
Spring is a perfect time to make improvements that protect and add value to your home. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. For decades, homeowners across the Pacific Northwest have trusted our team for roofing, siding, windows, and custom decking. This spring, save up to $3,000, or qualified homeowners can take advantage of 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free estimate.
Mariners and Orioles tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
Pests and poor insulation have something in common. One call to Eastside Exterminators takes care of both. For more than 50 years, families across Western Washington have trusted Eastside Exterminators to eliminate pests for good and protect homes from crawl space to attic. With dedicated insulation services and the state's only smart pest detection technology. From Everett to Federal Way, one call handles it all. 425-482-2271 or visit eastsideexterminators.com. Eastside Exterminators, family first pest control.
Hey there, Dawn Riling from Olympic Hot Tub with exciting news. Our mid-year clearance event is on. You'll score big savings on all in-stock saltwater hot tubs and fabulous saunas. Plus, deep discounts on newly released floor model swim spas. These deals are incredible. But don't wait. Our mid-year clearance ends June 30th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. actions. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. Want to weigh in on the roster moves for the Mariners, their thoughts as they get set to take on the Baltimore Orioles tonight, game 1 of a 3-game series. Hopefully getting back into the win column. But in those texts, Dave, we've seen a couple of people. It's not a lot, but a couple of people feeling like we've been unfairly critical of Luis Castillo. That he's not worthy of the criticism, and that we're picking on him, and others deserve to be picked on as well, and whatever. I'm not sure why we would have an agenda against Luis Castillo. He's been nothing but good for this team by all accounts. They adore him in that clubhouse. Yeah. We've said as much. I mean, we don't talk to him because just the language barrier doesn't do a lot. But by all accounts, a great guy, and the organization loves him. So why we would have an agenda, I don't really know. That doesn't make a ton of sense. And I feel like maybe I'm wrong, but when other pitchers or hitters go out there and struggle, we point it out. We talk about it. We're talking about Josh Naylor. What's happened to his defense? We're talking about Cal to start the season was terrible. Julio was terrible. Naylor was terrible. We talked about all of them. We talked about Emerson Hancock. Terrible performance the other day. I think when you get a favorite player and you hear criticism of that player, it feels heavier than it is for everybody else.
Well, one of the texts that I read, I looked at it and I was like, this has to be like a family member. that was the only way I could square it, because no, we haven't done that. I mean, we've given a fair amount of criticism, but it's like, I think you put it the other day, it's hard to get disappointed by Emerson Hancock, but he had a crappy outing.
Yeah,
it was terrible,
and we said it,
and it was bound to happen. It was bound to happen. So, I mean, nobody's immune from that. So, but it is kind of weird timing, just because Castillo, I think what we hear, and this is, again, like you said, we don't hear a lot from him, but what we do hear about him from his teammates, especially. Mm-hmm. And, when the first piggyback situation was home, I think it was against the White Sox. And that was the one where Dan almost went out consecutively to mound visit, and then nobody really, they end up losing that game. It didn't work out the way that they wanted to. I think they brought in like a reliever before.
Yeah, they brought in, it was a Ferrer to get
I think it was Ferrer. Yeah, so that whole thing was just disjointed, and it was just a bad situation, and nobody really knew what to say. But Bryce Miller, and that's one of the reasons why he is just solidified in my mind as one of the best pitchers, and both inside and out as a teammate. And, he was just talking about The Rock and how unselfish he is. All he cares about is the team. And so, yeah, I mean, it just really elevated him in my book a couple of notches to hear that from one of your teammates, and especially a good dude like Bryce Miller. So, yeah, I'm not sure where that has come from, but I think in the past we've talked about Castillo of, this is why he's the Rock, but then every once in a while he'll give up a home run or two here and there. And I remember last year that was kind of a thing where we'd look at it and go, yeah, but he seems like he's given up too many home runs, and the long ball was kind of haunting him a little bit. But for the most part, it's just been that he is as solid as can be and an awesome teammate. So, yeah, again, nobody is immune from having a bad outing.
Yeah, and that's what we do. We talk about what happened in the game last night. This guy did this guy did that. This was great. This wasn't great. I mean, that's true for every game, all 162. So, yeah, I don't feel it. I feel like Castillo's been the story more because the reason for the piggyback is him, right? Mm-hmm. He's sort of the odd man out, if you will, because he was, at the point, if you're looking beginning of the season right now, he's been your least impactful pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the facts. Those are what the stats tell you. That's the truth. I mean, he's got one quality start on the season. That was his very first game of the season. That's it.
Yeah.
Now, he looked much better in the piggyback situation. Certainly. Velocity was up, and some of that might be just the mentality of going in there knowing I'm only going 4 or I'm only going 5, whatever the plan was that was expressed to him before the game, and you're not being exposed to that lineup 3 times, right? So maybe that's where he becomes more effective. The reality is he's just an older pitcher. He's not who he was when he was 28. He's a different guy. He's a different guy than the one that showed up here during the trade when you traded for him. That's how it goes when you get older. Things change. You don't carry the same level of velocity. Some things don't work the way it used to. So you figure out how to make it work. The guy's under contract. He makes a lot of money. I believe he's still annually the highest paid player on the team. So you figure out how do we make this work. But as far as, being critical of him versus other pitchers, I feel like we've talked a lot about Logan and his inconsistency and how every other game was good and then this one was bad. This was good. Then he was bad again. And what's going on with him? And we've talked about Kirby. So I don't know. It's interesting to see that sort of perspective that somehow he's being singled out. I think he is a bigger part of the conversation because he's part of that whole piggyback thing that became a major conversation.
Yeah.
So, and we had, we talked to, Ryan Rowland-Smith about it. We talked to Charlie Furbush about it, guys who pitched at that level. And look, they expressed the same things. They talked about the same issues that we were seeing there. They're seeing it as guys that did it. They can relate to it. They understand what's going on there. So I'm not sure for those, and it's literally like 2 people, I think, that texted in about that. But for those 2, I don't know. I'm not sure what you want. If you just prefer he not be talked about when he doesn't pitch well and only talked about when he does.
You know what I like to do? Whenever we talk about Luis Castillo, go back to his very first start.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the day before my birthday. I was so excited. And we beat the Yankees 2-1.
He was great. What did he give up? 3 hits?
6 innings, 3 hits,
no
0 earned runs, 7 strikeouts,
he was
2
fantastic.
walks, and 95 pitches.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was fantastic.
That was his effort of the year.
But as far as the whole piggyback thing, I just will always remember Ryan Rowland-Smith saying, it's not good for anybody. It just isn't. He wasn't being like a cranky old man or anything like that. And look, we saw the emotions play out. I mean, we saw Bryce Miller afterwards trying to explain what the hell happened in that very first piggyback thing. And then, the second one, we saw Luis, lose his temper a little bit. Who cares? Big deal. Guy threw a mitt. I mean, guys are going back, beating things up with bats, so I don't, who yeah, there's not been one complaint or report or anything about Luis Castillo that wasn't there's a reason why this guy is called The Rock, and he's a great teammate, and everybody loves him.
Yeah, and we'll see ultimately what his role is going to be. They're going to address, as Adam Jude said in the tweet, the rotation. Again, not sure what's happening in the spot where Wu typically pitches is now listed as TBA, so I don't know. Does he have soggy arm? Does he need a rest? Who knows? We're gonna find out. But Luis is going to be part of the proceedings, whether he's a starter, whether he's in the bullpen, wherever he's at. I'm going to be rooting for him to go out there and just shove, just go out there and be a stud. Whether that happens or not, we'll find out, and we're going to talk about it the next day. So,
you're going to owe him that too, because you've been so harsh on him.
I know, just very unfairly.
This is the 360. Sorry, it says, Bob, Dave, why do you guys hate Luis?
That's in some people's minds. Those are the facts, I guess. I don't know why we do either. Meanwhile, the Seahawks are banking on big things from Derick Hall, and he might be the key to the defense getting even better this season. We'll get into that coming up next with Wyman and Bob. It's Seattle Sports on 710.
ESPN senior MLB insider Jeff Passan every Tuesday morning at 8:30 with Brock and Salk.
Brought to you by your Western Washington Toyota dealers.
Colt Emerson has a 157 OPS plus. What are we watching, Jeff?
The numbers are the numbers. The data is the data. It tells us what this player is producing, and there's no reason to think that he's not going to be able to do at the big league level what he did at the minor league level.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, what if I told you about a local credit union giving members up to $30 per month just to make everyday purchases? It's Dave Wyman here, and when I heard about the offer from Harborstone Credit Union, I said, sign me up, and that's what I did at harborstone.com/cash. Now, you know I'm not a big tech-savvy guy, but I'll tell you what, opening a checking account was so easy. If it's easy enough for me, then you can definitely figure it out. I got my PNW Cashback checking account for free, no fees or minimums, and when I make everyday purchases with my Harborstone PNW Cashback debit card, I earn up to $30 each month. My wife loves it, and when I get cash back on gas, groceries, coffee, travel, lunch, all categories count towards your cash back. You can even tap to pay, which I figured that out too. So if you live, work, or worship in the state of Washington, sign up for a membership with Harborstone Credit Union and get the PNW Cashback free checking account. Open your free account online like I did at harborstone.com/cash or visit one of their 29 branches across the Northwest. Insured by NCUA, terms and conditions apply.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Summer is here, and it's time to break through your weight loss frustrations. Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss, and we have a proven system that can help you lose 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 8 weeks. Whether you need a nutrition plan to complement your GLP injections, or you're like many of our clients who don't want to worry about ongoing monthly costs, giving yourself shots, or uncomfortable side effects. Either way, our program provides the support, accountability, and structured nutrition plan so you can achieve your results for the long term. Schedule your free phone consult at eastsideweightlossklinik.com.
Look, this plan does work. It's Mike Salk here, and I used Eastside Weight Loss Clinic to lose 35 pounds. Just recently, I heard about one of our listeners who lost 40 pounds. How about that? The plan will teach you lifelong habits to continue eating the food you love while losing weight.
We've helped over 4,000 people lose 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 8 weeks. Come to our clinic in Kirkland or do the program remotely from anywhere you live. Schedule your free phone consultation online at eastsideweightlossklinik.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Hey everybody, Jermaine Kurst with Pacific Northwest Interiors featuring CS Floors. Countertops, window covering, and flooring. From design to installations, Pacific Northwest Interiors has you covered. Come stop in to any of our new showrooms.
It's the Diablo Performance Event at Par Lumber. For a limited time, get 20% off all Diablo tool products, including saw blades, drill bits, and hole saws, built for cleaner cuts, longer life, and top performance. Don't miss out. Stock up and save big on the brand that outperforms the rest. Now through June 20th, get 20% off all Diablo tool products at your local Par Lumber. Visit par.com for more details.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafy, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. Improve your play with 25% off windows and doors or 12 months, no interest, and no payments. We're also giving back to the community with 2 $5,000 scholarships for our local youth sports teams. Upgrade your home today at PellaPNW.com.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
Mariners and Orioles tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today.
In addition to treating ED and Peyronie's disease, we now offer testosterone replacement therapy. With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up at 3 o'clock, we're going to chat with Colt Emerson's high school baseball coach and assistant football coach, Brad Barclay, is going to join us. So make sure you stay tuned for that conversation. Text line is there, 866-979-3776. Some interesting texts coming in as we were talking about people feeling like, well, a couple of people feeling like we pick on Luis Castillo. 206 says, you guys are probably the most level-headed dudes at 710. Don't know what people are complaining about.
Well, thank you, 206.
And then
I like
another,
to think of us as level-headed.
Another one, I'm assuming this is sarcasm, but in talking about Castillo, they said, you guys are right. He needs to go. His contract is hampering the team from making some additions to the roster. Get rid of him now.
Now, that is unfair criticism.
I'm taking that as sarcasm. I gave a little smiley, laughing face in response. So hopefully, if that's not sarcasm, then God help you. I don't know what you heard. Meanwhile, we had a great conversation with Derick Hall that happened yesterday. If you guys missed that, I would definitely recommend checking that out on the podcast page at seattlesports.com. Just click the podcast tab and click on our picture, and it's right there. But just a really engaging guy, outside of who he is on the field, off the field, just a tremendous story that we've chronicled, multiple times about, him being a preemie baby and everything. But what he's doing now is really cool, really cool. So definitely check that out. But is it, when you look at this defense, and this team was built on their defense, and they have been certainly, but they were special last year. What do you look at this as a team that even as good as they were, do you go, well, they can be better at this, or this element of the defense certainly could take a step forward? I mean, you can always improve. That's the general statement. But is there a specific area on this defense that you look at, Dave, and go, they could improve on this?
Yeah, maybe, a little bit more ball hawking. I'm trying to remember their numbers. I mean, I felt like a guy, and Derick Hall, by the way, is in the same category as a guy like Spoon, that when you look at his numbers, it doesn't really tell the story. Because Derick only had 2 sacks last year. But he did have 2 sacks in the Super Bowl and came up with some big plays at the right time. So, yeah, I would just like to see like an overwhelming amount of takeaways that it translate into that.
There was that point where they were giving the ball away a lot. Or what was it?
Terrible.
Fumbles, fumble recovery. There was a stat that was really out of whack for a while that you kept pointing out.
I wouldn't let it go.
They didn't have a fumble recovery by a defensive player.
That's right.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, and that was
the kickoff return against the Commanders. I think was like the first one they had.
Yeah, that's right. That was the very first fumble recovery. Thank you, Mike, because I was the one that pointed that out, and then since have forgotten it apparently. But yeah, and then so that part of it was kind of out of whack, and it was just kind of strange that you don't have a fumble recovery, especially they had a fair amount of sacks. So, maybe that, every once in a while. I mean, the Legion of Boom, that was ridiculous. I think they were plus 20 or plus 25.
They were great at forcing turnovers.
But they had like some crazy number, like, I don't know if it was like 40 or 50 takeaways. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's one area. And for Derick, it would be, a strip sack. And, just finding a way, which I thought Boye Mafe was always very conscientious about that, about trying to get the strip sack. But, you want to secure the sack first. But, yeah, that would be the one thing that – because I think turnover ratio is such a huge indicator. And And obviously they were not helped by their offense that was giving the ball away a lot.
Yeah. Leonard Williams was talking about this, and he was asked how this defense can improve on who they were last year.
I mean, I think just adapting to moving pieces. That's something about our defense that makes it great is we try to hold the pen last in all situations. So, you know, again, like we've been learning each other for like the last 2 years. You know, going on Mike's third year here, people should have more of a grasp of the way he calls defenses, what type of defenses he's calling in certain situations. So allowing us to play ahead of the snap pretty much is going to make, you know, the more we diagnose the defense and get used to all those moving pieces and changes, it's going to just allow us to play that much faster.
Very true, man. I mean, and it's just getting more and more familiar to these guys, and especially when you kind of see what's the reason for why Mike is doing the things that he does and how he calls plays, kind of his style. Then you went and won the Super Bowl and pretty much shut down that whole Patriot offense, and so that brings about a lot of confidence, for the players and for Mike. So. Yeah, it's just getting better and better every year. And, and the other thing kind of stands out to me, Leonard Williams is not some spring chicken, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't have hardly any injuries. I mean, he's been very healthy, and, it's just been a great addition. Another one of those midseason trades that John Schneider made.
Yeah, he's been a huge addition to this team, and just who he is on the field, and I think as a leader. He's a voice of reason. You look forward to hearing him talk. He was talking about Riley Mills, a guy, a lot of people I know you're excited about his potential. We saw him in the Super Bowl finally, a guy who dealt with injury as a rookie, so got a late start to things. But he talked about what he's seen out of him.
I mean, I think you're definitely going to see more plays from him, more game time from him this year. He's just looking a lot more bouncy. I know he was coming off of an injury his rookie season. He was doing a great job of learning from the sideline and took his opportunity when he could. But now going into OTAs, this is his first OTAs in his second year, and he just looks like more confident on his knee, just look more confident as a player, and I think he's going to be a big help for us up front.
Go look at his college highlight film. It's pretty impressive.
What was his injury? Was it ACL?
Yeah, it was a knee injury. I think it was either ACL or MCL, one of the two in the middle.
It was a CL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it was some variety of CL. But, and he really came back pretty kind of on schedule. I just remember him, started to play about when they said, maybe a little bit later, but yeah, and I mean, he's just another guy that you just can't block. I mean, we were talking to Derick Hall about how when we talked to Byron Murphy, he's insulted if he doesn't get double teamed. And, you've got 4 guys, maybe 5 that just can't be double teamed.
Yeah.
So
and they're insulted by being single teamed.
Exactly. And then, but as far as Derick Hall goes, the production, I think, is commensurate with the pay that he's getting, because look, I still think he took a discount. I mean, he took $6 million a year less than Boye Mafe, and he does all the dirty work. And he did have 8 sacks in 2024. And that was the year also he got that fumble recovery for a touchdown. He forced a couple fumbles. You'd like to see a little bit more of that, out of him, because I was talking about the takeaways. But, he got 2 sacks during the regular season playing in 14 games, but he also was unfairly, by the way, ejected from a game. I think that was against the Rams, was it? Or
is that when they said he stepped on?
Yeah, he stepped on somebody.
He clearly, I remember he clearly stumbled, looked down, whoa, there's somebody there. Yeah. Obviously, there's always a pile of bodies around you after a play. It's just so stupid.
Well, and then the next week, down on the field, John Schneider is wearing a T-shirt with the likeness, or no, he had his jersey is what he had. I'm thinking of the Super Bowl. He had a picture of his dad on his T-shirt, but underneath his coat, he wore a Derick Hall jersey. So,
gotta love that.
You absolutely, and that just shows how much they love him. And because remember he got in a fight on the sidelines with Jaron Reed, and you thought, maybe this guy's got a little bit of an edge, but his maturity and everything has come through. And so if anybody thinks, $14 million, He's only got 2 sacks. Well, there is a lot of stuff that he does and also brings to the team. And he's just one of those guys that you want on this team with high character, works his tail off. And, I was looking at it, says he's 254 pounds. It looks like
bigger than that.
It looks like 270 of just pure muscle, man. The guy is just a monster.
Well, and the bottom line is, again, coming off the Super Bowl, it's in John you trust and Mike you trust.
Yeah.
And if they looked at him and said, "We need this guy, and here's the deal," then maybe the stat sheet tells you one thing. I'd buy into more of what they're seeing.
Yep.
Day in, day out. So if they're going to commit that kind of money, you better believe it's the right move.
I'm just so thrilled that he is happy with it. Because,
he's totally at peace. He's going to buy more trucks.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, he could have bought a lot more trucks if he'd gone to free agency. I think the value of wanting to be in the same place, maybe your whole career, we'll see how it works out. But it's pretty cool what they're building down there.
Meanwhile, Colt Emerson has certainly not looked like a 20-year-old rookie, and we'll find out more about how he's been able to have such success at an early age from his high school baseball coach, also his assistant football coach. Brad Barclay is going to join us next with Wyman and Bob. It's Seattle Sports on 710.
The first-place Mariners return home from the longest road trip of the season. A little worse for the wear.
Some injury concerns.
Naylor fouls it off his foot.
Andres Munoz left. It sounds like it's back tightness.
Let's get home before anything else happens.
Get the very latest Mariners injury news at seattlesports.com. And listen as the M's return home to T-Mobile in the first of 3 against the Orioles. Tonight, first pitch at 6:40 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all 3 like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
The best safety feature on any machine is a well-trained operator. With online, hands-on, in-class, and blended options, Levitt Training helps your team stay safe, certified, and confident on the job. Book your training today. Stack it, reach it, lift it, Levitt.
I got to ride in the brand new all-electric Arc Sport, and it was a luxury EV on the water. Stacy here. You hop aboard immediately and feel like you're someone important. Luxury finishes, clean, tech throughout. Driving it is smooth, and it has that impressive kick you expect from an EV. Charging it is really easy, and not paying for gas is a huge plus. Book a free demo and see it for yourself in Lake Union, Lake Washington, and Lake Sammamish. Schedule your demo at arcboats.com/demo. If you can't make it to them in Kirkland, they'll come pick you up. arcboats.com/demo.
Dave Wyman here, and the folks at Bellevue Rare Coins say higher prices have enticed more Americans to cash out their jewelry, gold, and silver items. Here's a story from a real customer. She walked into Bellevue Rare Coins with an old bag of jewelry, a little bit nervous, a little bit embarrassed because it was mostly old tangled chains and pieces she hadn't looked at in years. When they gave her the total, she couldn't believe what it was worth. Go see what your jewelry is worth with a free consultation. Bellevue Rare Coins is now in Linwood, Issaquah, Tacoma, and Bellevue.
To all lovers of pop culture, science fiction, comics, wrestling, anime, and movies, Washington State SummerCon is this weekend at the Washington State Fair and Events Center in Puyallup. Meet over 130 celebrity guests from Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel, DC, Demon Slayer, One Piece, and 5 WWE Hall of Famers. Meet the Fonz, Henry Winkler, Jay and Silent Bob, Steve from Blue's Clues, all 5 Teen Titans, and even Deadpool's iconic pet, Dogpool. Visit wassummercon.com to purchase tickets.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And right now, new mattresses start at $1,500 during our 4th of July sale. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
People can see through if it's not genuine. And it's genuine here. The Johnsons always talk about in orientation meeting, their dad and grandpa, they always maintain that it's a people business. We're not here to sell cars and work on cars. That's what we do, but it's really about just helping people. Every month we have a new employee orientation meeting and the Johnsons present. They can't get out to all the stores every day and meet everyone, but at least they get to shake hands with new employees every month in the orientation meeting. And they tell everyone there's not one car deal or one repair order that is worth tarnishing our reputation and ruining an experience for a customer. That just is really what is instilled.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Do you need a new roof? Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free estimate and secure $500 off your project this summer. Our technicians build a custom plan to ensure a high-quality roof installation every time. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners back in action, taking on the Baltimore Orioles in town. Game 1 of a 3-game series coming your way tonight. Mariners sending Logan Gilbert to the hill. He'll face off against Brandon Young. You can catch it all starting at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Mariners making some roster moves as expected. Cal Raleigh being reinstated from the injured list with that right oblique strain. J.P. Crawford as well being reinstated from the IL with that right hand contusion. Johnny Pereda has been optioned to AAA Tacoma. Meanwhile, in the NFL, Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice was released from a Dallas County jail today after serving a 30-day sentence for violating the terms of his probation.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Well, tons of excitement around a young star for the Seattle Mariner team in Colt Emerson, who's been shown why there's a lot of hype around him, but a guy who probably knew what this kid was about a long time ago. He was his head baseball coach, he was his assistant football coach, and he's with us now to share his Nostradamus-like predictions that this kid would be super special. And we're talking about his former coach, Brad Barclay, is with us. Brad, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
We're great. I'm sure you knew as soon as you saw him out there on the football field, on the baseball field, you said, you know what, this kid's going to be a star, right?
There's no doubt. He was head and shoulders different than everybody else. Now, MLB star, I wasn't sure early, but yeah, definitely head and shoulders above everybody.
Yeah, and Brad, it seems like that a lot of kids are specializing these days, and I just think you're such a more well-rounded athlete, playing a bunch of different sports. I think you mentioned wrestling at one point. So, how much do you think that helps guys as opposed to getting on some of these baseball travel teams where they're just playing the same sport all year?
Oh, there's no doubt that playing every sport that you can play helps out, working every different muscle in different ways, and just the competition in the different sports helps. We're lucky where we are because all of our coaches encourage our kids to play every sport.
Well, you talked about you weren't sure in baseball. Does that mean you thought, all right, maybe this kid's going to be a football player? That maybe that looked more natural, or did it look like one sport was more natural to him than the other?
No, listen, any sport that he chose to play, he looked natural. He even played basketball up until freshman year. He chose to just play football and baseball going into high school. But 7th and 8th grade, he played basketball and was their best player on the 7th and 8th grade basketball team as well.
Hey, Brad, the one thing that caught my eye is that he was thrown out of a game for targeting, which I talked to him and told him he's my new favorite Mariner because of that. But, and he kind of indicated that he thought it was a crappy call. But yeah, I just tell us a little bit about some of the ferocity that you see him. And I think it's ridiculous that you can place your helmet, somewhere in such high speed situations. It's crazy. But anyway, as far as, what you saw out of him as a football player, how much do you see that in him, as a baseball player?
Oh, a ton. Just the focus and the competitiveness. He wants to beat the person across from him, whether that's the pitcher or the batter hitting the ball to him. But even on the football field, he would bring it. We only had a few DBs that would go after and attack somebody. And him being a free safety, you wouldn't expect that much. But, man, he would come up and hit somebody every chance he got. And that carryover, of course, to baseball is just that competitiveness and that, as you said, ferocity, that he wants to beat the guy across from him so bad that he's going to do whatever he can.
He's one of the things that's really stood out about him beyond what we see on the field is just his maturity level. When you talk to him, you don't feel like you're talking to a 20-year-old kid. He just sort of the way he expresses himself and talks about the game seems like a guy who's been in it for a long time. Is that something you saw in him even early in high school, or is that something you think is obviously it's going to continue to develop, but has that always been part of his personality?
Yeah, he has. When he came in as a freshman, he was head and shoulders above maturity-wise. He's a guy I could put out there and he could run the whole field at shortstop and tell everybody where they need to be and pick everybody up. But he was head and shoulders above everybody, just the way he carried himself and, the way he approached the game. But, I honestly got to know him when he was 5. And him and my son played ball together when they were 5. And his dad and I coached together. And even at 5 years old, when he was playing with guys that were 8 years old, he was head and shoulders above.
Hey, and, you mentioned him at a young age. He was on a 12 and under team that went to Taiwan. And he was talking about, having a roommate and basically that he can handle any kind of situation because you're 12 years old, you're in Taiwan and you have a roommate. I mean, that's a pretty good test as far as character and, being able to be away from home.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up because knowing him from such a young age and then seeing him get on that bus to go to the airport to go play for Team USA at 12 years old, that was the first time I really felt like, oh, wow, he has matured so much and has become so different already. His mannerisms and everything had changed so much. And just the way he nonchalantly got on the bus and could care less and was like, hey, I'm going away for a while, but I'm going to play and do what I love.
One of the things I read a comment from you on was his work ethic. And is that something that is just sort of natural when you first met him? That's just kind of who he was, or is that something you as a coach had to sort of instill in him and then he took it and ran with it?
No, listen, I take no credit for any of that. That was self-instilled. Ever since a young age, he had a ball and a glove in his hand, and he was always throwing it up and catching it or bouncing it off a wall, swinging a bat. That was something that, I give his parents a lot of credit for, both hardworking people, and they instilled that in him, I believe. And it's hard to find. He's a rare breed of pure athlete mixed with work ethic. And as I say, that was instilled in him. I didn't have much to do with that, if anything at all.
Well, I'm sure you were a big part of it, Brad, but seen him do a couple of things on the field that just seemed like second nature and just instinct. One was there was a ball that tipped off, I think, the third base glove, and he did kind of this pop-up slide next to the ball, and and I'm like, I wonder why he did that. But really, when you look at it, you look at that play, it's probably the most efficient way to do it. And then, same thing with turning a double play, and he kind of skipped one off the dirt to the second baseman. It just seems like he's an incredibly, just intuitive. Like it's just second nature for him. And did you notice those kinds of things?
Yes, and you hit it, intuitive. Some of those kids, you have to stop, practice, and say, okay, hey, listen, why don't you do this? Or, hey, you could have tried this, or you could have done this. But with him, he's just doing it. And you're right. It's just instinctual, intuitive, that it just comes natural to him. And there again, that's what set him above all of our high school players in this area.
When you saw the contract he signed, I'm sure it was probably a proud moment for you to see that. But oftentimes we see young guys, and whether it's football, baseball, basketball, whatever, sign these huge deals, and they got a lot of friends all of a sudden. They got a lot of family all of a sudden. They want a piece and want to, have a voice in his life, if you will. Right. I get the sense, just based on what you've talked about him and about his family, that maybe those concerns don't exist with him.
I don't believe they do. And that might have been the one thing that he and I did talk about a good bit, was you realize when this happens, you're going to have a lot more friends than what you did. And you're going to have to cipher through who really is and who really isn't. And honestly, we probably didn't even need to have that talk. He's got such a good head on his shoulders, and he knows what he wants to do, and he's focused on what he's doing enough that all that outside noise is just that. It's just the outside noise. And people reaching out that he's never heard from or he hasn't heard from in years, he knows how to keep them at bay, and keep the ones that really are rooting for him and have been with him in his corner all the way. He can keep them close.
Yeah, it just seems like he has a phenomenal family and good support group there. Hey, Brett, are you finding ways to watch every Mariner game? And have you watched every one?
Without a doubt. Now, I'm lucky enough I have T-Mobile, and that's not a plug for them, sorry. But I'm lucky enough I have that. And my son was good enough to tell me, hey, Dad, you realize that we get the MLB app free if you download it before a certain date. Now, that was 2 days before the date. But so, yes, any game that has not been blacked out, I have been able to watch. The problem is, like tonight, playing at 9:40. I'm an early riser, so I may get to watch one or two at bats before I fall asleep. And honestly, I missed his first home run. I stayed up long enough to watch him strike out the at-bat before, and then I woke up to a text the next day of what a way to arrive. So I turned on, I pulled up the highlight and I watched it. Of course, I watched it muted, and then I unmuted it and watched it again and got chills. Just the way that whole ballpark erupted for him, all of his teammates, the bullpen, just the way everybody went crazy, I got chills. It was so awesome. But I felt bad I fell asleep. I have watched every game that I could, yeah.
I'm sure he understands that. He gets it. But I'm curious, do you still find yourself coaching, whether you express it to him over text or just in your head, like, oh, you're opening up here, or you're pulling your head, or you're doing, you got that coaching instinct when you're watching him?
I've unfortunately refrained from that, or fortunately for him, one or the other. When he was in Tacoma and he was struggling there a bit, I saw him just trying to pull everything and pulling off everything, and I wanted to text him so bad and be like, "Well, stay on the baseball, get back to you, get back to left center, get back to," and I didn't. And then, of course, my son calls me and says, "Hey, did you see he finally pulled a home run?" And I'm like, "Okay," and he goes, I told him, "Hey, I'm glad to see you finally pulled one." And I said, "Blade, no." He said, No, that's why he's struggling a little bit in Tacoma right now, is because he's pulling off everything. But, honestly, when he got to the show and he got to Seattle, I have felt that his swings have been a lot better than what they were late in Tacoma. And that's awesome. That just shows the maturity and the growth, and being able to take that next step.
Yeah, you're blessed to be, especially, when you have a kid that goes on to Major League Baseball. It just is so cool. But, kids, they remember their coaches, man. I still talk about my head football coach, my basketball coaches. I mean, that's a really cool position to be in. And it's, and I know for a fact that it doesn't pay super well, but you certainly get paid off as far as, all of the contacts that you've had with kids and the influence you've had over kids over the years.
Yes, no doubt. And it makes it worth it. And with Colt, I know that if I shoot him a text right now, it might be 3 or 4 days later, but I know I'm going to get a text back.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. Yes.
How much does it change your job there? That, hey, this was Colt Emerson's coach, and the more his profile grows and the more success he has, I would imagine that would make you an attractive coach for kids that say, I want to play for this guy. He was Colt Emerson's coach.
I wish that were true. Unfortunately, our numbers have gone down, but a lot of people do think that they're going to be the next Colt Emerson, which, is awesome for Colt and awesome for them. But I've got to remind them that not only do you have to be blessed with talent, you've got to work at it. I wish that were true. And like I said, I wish our numbers were up because of that. And everybody thought they were going to be the next Colt Emerson. But unfortunately, our numbers are down. So I don't understand it right now. A lot of guys like basketball, and they think they're going to go be basketball guys, and they play AAU basketball instead. And so we lose some good athletes to that, unfortunately.
Maybe Cole can come back out there and do a camp or something. Do
exactly, yeah,
an off-season thing.
Get interest back into them. Yes.
Well, Brad, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Really appreciate you cutting out some time, and we'll all be watching Colt together. Thanks so much for the time.
Yes, no doubt. Thank you, guys.
There you go, former coach, head baseball coach, assistant football coach for Colt Emerson, who has nothing but glowing remarks. And I think it's pretty cool that he tries to stay away. He's not sending them texts, and he's got on his son about sending. No, don't do that. Don't send him texts. But he's still at home watching and looking, going, oh, you're doing that. You're pulling off the ball. You're doing this. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome for him to watch that. I got just a little bit of that. I coached Michael Conforto. He was a good football player. He was a sophomore playing on the varsity. And good friends with his dad. His dad, Mike, was a linebacker at Penn State.
What did Conforto play?
He was fullback linebacker.
Okay.
Yeah. So just a stud of a kid. I mean,
he might have made the right choice. He's got a lot of money coming to him playing baseball.
Yeah. No, definitely, no question. So, but yeah, when you get special kids like that, it's pretty awesome for the coaches. But yeah, I mean, everything about that interview that we had with him, watching him play day in, day out, even watching him interact in the dugout, and just everything about him is like, this guy is a great kid. And can you imagine going on a 12 and under team to Taiwan and having to have like a roommate on the road?
Well, just leaving the country at that age do the parents go with them? Do they?
Yeah, I don't know.
That'd be daunting. As a 12-year-old?
Yeah. So, I mean, he was citing that and, he said basically, well, I can handle anything, if I'm going to do that. So he's okay being away from home, and still really young guy. I mean, hasn't even turned 21.
It's amazing that he's 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also the interview that we had with him, I just was like, this is like a 10, 12-year veteran that we're interviewing here. The things that he said, the way he explained things, everything about him is just very impressive. And, and I keep forgetting, I gotta, the Mariners have done a really good job with that, giving them credit for getting, I don't remember the last time that we talked to a guy that was a jerk, or, I mean, I just think they've got the right.
We were talking to Lefko earlier, but
Good one, Bob. I like that. You had a straight face there on that one. I like it.
Just kidding, Mike.
Lefko's not a jerk.
No.
He just thinks he's funnier than he is. But that's all.
Lefko's going, what did I do? Why did you bring me into this?
I can't defend the allegations.
Mike's back there just trying to, get through his business, and we're out here.
He's dumbfounded because we found out that Matt, who is the self-proclaimed super nerd, he says this about himself, has never seen an episode of Game of Thrones, which you'd think would be right in his wheelhouse. He's like, nah.
No?
Not for me. Don't care about dragons, swords, medieval stuff.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Left goes back there going, that doesn't make any sense. You're what did you call him?
I said, wow, you really are a discerning nerd.
Discerning nerd, yeah.
I'm going to get a business card that says that. Matt
discerning
nerd.
Yeah. So anyway, I digress. But
Well, I've never seen it either, Matt. So.
You never saw an episode of that?
No.
Do you remember when we were interviewing Michael Bennett years ago, and he was saying something, and his delivery is always so funny.
Yeah.
But he was saying something about, I like to do stuff. I like to watch Game of Thrones, and he just the way he just kind of threw it in there as he was saying, I'm like everybody else, man. I like to go out and do stuff, and I like to watch Game of Thrones. His voice, the pitch of it. I remember just cracking up when he said that.
That dude cracks me up, and he does preseason games, so we're always in those meetings together. And he says some of the funniest stuff I've ever heard.
He can get away with it.
Guy. Yeah, he totally can. Yeah, like he asked JSN, sorry, an aside here. He asked JSN exactly what I wanted to ask him. I wanted to say, you're not that big. You're not that fast. Like what? And that's exactly what Bennett did. He's like, yeah, you're not that big. I don't see you running that fast.
JSN's going,
yeah,
what are you doing?
He goes, yeah, and I don't even remember how he answered the question, but only Mike B can get away with that. If I'd have said it, you'd been like, what a jerk.
Yeah, I'm not talking to that guy anymore.
Yeah. Anyway, but he did say it in that kind of high-pitched voice that he gets every once in a while. That's just hilarious.
Man. I like watching Game of Thrones. Oh, funny dude. All right, well, good stuff from Brad Barclay, who was, again, the head baseball coach and assistant football coach at John Glenn High School, coached Colt Emerson. Weird to hear that their numbers are down. You'd figure that would give him some attention, right? Here's a kid that you were coaching not long ago. He's only 20.
Yeah.
Just signed a $95 million deal.
God, I keep forgetting about that, too.
If I'm in that area of where that school is, maybe I'm going, I'd like to play for this guy.
Yeah. How about we move the district line here?
Weird to hear his numbers are down. So I don't know. Maybe they get Colt to come out there and do a little camp or something for a few days. And
yeah, when you said that, I was like, I'm sure Colt will really appreciate Bob. Filling up his time.
I'll tell him tonight. I volunteered you for a camp. Are you good with that? I assumed you were.
5-day camp. You cool with that?
Assumed you were. You're not getting paid. Come on. You got $95 million coming to you. You don't need to be paid.
That's right.
Yeah. So, but just what a cool story and good to hear from him. So if you guys just tuned in, didn't catch all that conversation with Brad Barclay, you can check it out on the podcast page after the show. Just go to seattlesports.com, click the podcast tab, click on our picture, and it's right there waiting. And don't forget, you can click subscribe. It's totally free, and it just shows up for you every day. It's really, really a nice process. So we'll get into – still waiting for the lineups to come out, waiting to see –
Still not out.
Still not out yet. I don't know if they're waiting to have the when are they meeting with the media?
Hollander just finished, and actually we have a slew of updates, and I can play one here. This is some news on Matt Brash, and it sounds like it's going to be a while for Brash.
Matt Brash is a grade 1 right lat strain. Matt will be in Arizona. We'll re-MRI this in 3 to 4 weeks from the time of the original injury. And then obviously however long you're down, that's usually about the time you come back. So I think it's reasonable to think of Matt as like a trade deadline type ad based on where we are today.
That's not filling me full of optimism.
Well, and that's the thing about Brash is pretty lean. We always talk about how he just his brain wants to pitch faster than his body can handle.
Yeah, that's a bummer. Was there anything on Donovan?
Yeah, Donovan's also going to be out here. We can just play this one as well. Here we go.
Brendan Donovan is here. I don't know if you guys have seen him yet. He'll start his running progression this week. He'll also be on field taking ground balls, hitting, doing things like that. Again, I think I said this the last time. The most important thing for him is the running progression. With like low concern that he's not going to come through the hitting and ground balls and throwing across the diamond part of it. It's more the running progression. So that'll start this week with just straight line linear running, and then move into base running and things next week.
Okay, so that's still, and then he's going to need rehab assignments in AAA or wherever.
And then more immediate concerns. I think this might be why a lineup isn't out. Not sure who's available because Josh Naylor is not going to play today. He's dealing with a sore wrist that he hurt during the road trip.
What?
And then
That
Randy
too?
Arozarena is undergoing an MRI to further assess the hamstring injury.
Wow.
So we can dive into that a little bit later. But yeah, it's.
Did they say anything about the rotation? Why that's TBA and move spot?
I haven't gotten that far yet.
Okay.
I think he just did injuries. So Dan Wilson's, I think, speaking now.
Okay.
A lot to get to. Yeah, it was a very newsy day for the Mariners.
There you go. A lot of stuff. All right. Well, we'll talk more about that. Meanwhile, there's a glass half full and a glass half empty way to look at the Mariners situation right now, as we were just discussing. We'll get it, see which one we're looking at coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
The first-place Mariners return home from the longest road trip of the season. A little worse for the wear.
Some injury concerns.
Naylor fouls it off his foot.
Andres Munoz left. It sounds like it's back tightness.
Let's get home before anything else happens.
Get the very latest Mariners injury news at seattlesports.com. And listen as the M's return home to T-Mobile in the first of 3 against the Orioles. Tonight, first pitch at 6:40 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Hey, are you somebody that's been dealing with some sort of injury, or you've been looking at it and thinking, man, I'm at the end of the road and I need surgery, joint replacement, whatever it is? If you're in that spot, before you choose surgery, do what I did. Go see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Now, I had a hip issue that was going on for years. I was going through physical therapy. I was getting steroid injections in there, doing everything I could to avoid surgery, and I thought, that's it. I'm at the end, until I remembered all of the stories I heard, all the testimonials, people talking to Dave Wyman about that 90-minute outpatient stem cell procedure with Dr. Wagner. So I went in, he took a look at my imaging and said, I can help you. And he was not lying. It has been an absolute 180 for me. Well, Dr. Wagner is the most experienced in the Northwest. Now, he's a board-certified physician with over 30 years of experience performing more than 20,000 stem cell procedures, and he only uses your own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in your own joint. So people with severe osteoarthritis, maybe even bone on bone, they're back to doing what they enjoy without pain and, more importantly, without surgery. So whether it's a hip like I had, a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, knee, whatever it is, before choosing surgery, go see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Just go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Dealing with divorce and custody issues can be terrifying and very lonely, but you don't need to face it alone. Goldberg Jones has been helping Northwest husbands and fathers for more than 30 years. Thousands of men have put their trust in us. You can too. Learn more at goldbergjones.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over there at People Come First Construction Group. You know I love my acronyms, PCF. They designed and built our outdoor living space for Molly and I, and we just loved it. And right now, PCF is making it easier than ever to get started on your new dream deck with 50% off your custom professional design and architectural drawing package. That means you can save over $9,000 on your project. And with 12 months of no interest, no payment financing, you can design your deck now and pay later. You know, most people who start with a design package end up with the exact outdoor space they've always wanted and dreamed of. This offer is your first step. Do what we did and contact PCF Construction Group today. Get your project ideas, browse amazing photos, and find all the offer details at pcfgroup.com. That's pcfgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space your favorite place. When people come first.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
This Father's Day, do more with Dad and spend less with low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. Get him fired up with a new grill and accessories, like the Next Grill 5-burner for just $299, so you can spend more time together while he becomes the grill master he was always meant to be. Or build memories with savings on top brand power tools so you can tackle projects side by side. Gift more and do more together this Father's Day with help from the Home Depot. Exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Mariners and Orioles tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. For the Puget Sound, that means local service including burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and custom security designed to work with business operations. Bay Alarm has real people rooted in your community looking out for your business. After 8 decades and 3 generations of family ownership, our promise is still the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
Hey there, Dawn Riling from Olympic Hot Tub with exciting news. Our mid-year clearance event is on. You'll score big savings on all in-stock saltwater hot tubs and fabulous saunas. Plus, deep discounts on newly released floor model swim spas. These deals are incredible. But don't wait. Our mid-year clearance ends June 30th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
We're kicking off a football frenzy that can net you up to $10,000 in cash. Don't stand on the sidelines. Get on the pitch and join the fun. Hourly hot seat drawings run every Saturday night from 7 p.m. till midnight in June and July. Take your shot at 10 grand every week. The field's wide open.
Don't forget, your Reef Rewards card can save you up to 25 cents per gallon at Lummi Bay Market next to Silver Reef.
Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5 exit 260.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change presents Wisdom from the Road.
Summer means wide open spaces and a whole lot of extra miles. The last place you want your engine to give out is halfway to nowhere. Out here, low oil or a weak battery is just an ambush waiting to happen. That's why every oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change includes an 18-point maintenance check. These techs are trained to help spot issues early and keep you riding easy.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Change wisely.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
So we got a little more news for you on the Mariners rotation, and we'll play you the audio a little bit later. Lefko's going through it and cutting things up. But the tweet from Adam Jude just a few minutes ago. Mariners are going back to a piggyback pitching plan with a significant alteration. Okay, so follow me here. Every starter will rotate through and have piggyback days through the All-Star break. This was a unanimous, in quotes, decision with all 6 starters involved in the planning, Justin Hollander said.
Wow.
Yeah. So now how it works.
So they said, this is a bleep sandwich, and we're all going to have to take a bite.
Everybody's taking a bite.
Wow.
Yum. So,
well, I mean, that makes you feel better about, like, where they are, where their headspace is, right?
Yeah, well,
like,
you and I were talking about, well, if they're going to continue, who's going to be the guy? Because it can't be Bryce. Bryce is the guy that you want. He just went 8 innings. You don't want to cut him short, which sounds like he'll be part of this too.
Part of it.
But figuring out, all right, is it always going to be Luis coming out of the bullpen and piggybacking? You can't have a piggyback every day, right? So I would assume every 5th day is how it's going to work, and it'll just one time it'll be Logan's turn, and the next 5th day it'll be Bryce's turn.
So you don't think they're going to go? Because I thought about this part, actually.
I mean, you only have 6 starters, so you can't do it every day.
You can't do that. Yeah. You're going to burn them up. So, interesting.
But I wonder, Lefko asking a very good question, like, is it always going to be presumably Luis coming out of the bullpen, or are some of these guys, are we going to have a day where Luis starts and Logan comes out of the bullpen? Or Luis starts and Kirby comes out, or how are they going to handle that?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So we don't have those answers yet, by the way. So
once again, all because we have such good starting pitching. That's the reason. So yeah, I mean that sounds crazy. I think it's going to be exciting when we, get the lineup or the rotation, what we're going to be seeing each and every day. It'll keep you on your toes.
TJ in the 425. That is the dumbest bleep I have ever heard. Sounds like some of I was reading, Dave, the responses to that tweet from Adam Jude during the break, and it was like, one's like, yeah, the 6-man didn't work, but the piggyback worked. I dig it. And then the next one was like, dumbest bleep I've ever heard. Yeah. And this is, no, get rid of Castillo. This is all because he's a crybaby. Yeah, I mean, these are people weighing in on social media, but it's just to see the disparity, the back and forth between people on this.
Yeah, I wonder, it'll be interesting to hear from Charlie about it.
Yeah, it was a good day to have Charlie and get his take, because I'm curious how they're going to do it. Like, how do they, obviously, I'm assuming they went to great lengths to get a definitive plan. Like, look, we're going to start it on this day. It's going to start with I'm just throwing this out there. It's going to start with you, George. You're going to start the game, but after 4 innings or whatever they deem, we're going to bring Luis in. And then the next one, guys, is going to be you, Logan, and it's going to be Luis coming out. Or, I mean, maybe Luis starts and Logan, you're coming out of the bullpen. I have no idea how they're doing this.
So Hollander specifically said that
according to the tweet,
every pitcher was in on it. Meaning,
he put in the tweet, this was a, in quotes, unanimous decision with all 6 starters involved in the planning.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know how to feel about this, to be honest.
I don't either. I mean, and also, what kind of, I mean, other than, okay, I'm okay with it, do they have ideas or input or any say? And it has to kind of coincide with, the rest, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like you're just all of a sudden going to see, 2 nights from now, Logan, and because he's pitching tonight, right?
Yeah, well, I'm assuming, and it's just making an assumption, but Lefka and I were looking at the schedule, the TBA night, which was Woo's regular start, right? That was his. Yeah. That presumably could be the first night, because that would be 5 days of rest for Castillo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're guessing here. That don't take that to the bank, but that feels like, okay, if they're starting it, that's where presumably it would start, because that's his 5th day. So,
wow, I never thought that pitching rotations would be so interesting. That we would have this kind of a situation. It's kind of cool. They could be geniuses, Bob. What if this is so innovative and they have so much success that the rest of the league starts going with the piggyback?
I mean, there is an upside to it should it work each time, and that is your bullpen gets a big break every 5th day, and you're saving mileage on your starters' arms at the same time. That's assuming everything works out. 706 in Georgia says, sounds like the Mariners agree with me that we need to limit all our pitchers' innings. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they consulted with you probably before they made this decision.
425 says, this sounds like something AI would suggest. Horrible idea.
Dane and Bothell, who let Matt Nelson design a pitching rotation? I'm not sure why Matt's catching strays here, but there you go, Matt.
Every pitcher gets 1 inning every game, no matter what happens.
Yeah, don't you have a shirt like I hope everybody had fun or something like that?
I just hope both teams have fun.
Yeah, that's it. 360, yay, piggybacks for everyone.
Yeah. This is good.
Yeah, and more bleeped up than a soup sandwich, says the 509.
I don't remember seeing these things refresh this quickly. This is big news for the listeners here and for the texters. So, and I don't think I've seen anything terribly positive. So,
no,
I mean, who knows better, Joe Blow and the 206, or Dan Wilson and his pitching coach.
I'm not aware of another team that's done this. Now, granted, I admit fully I'm not following everybody's 5-man rotation, so maybe, but you figure you would have, as much as I watch MLB Network, you would have heard of this. I don't know.
No.
Has this ever been done? I don't know.
I think it's going to be big news, but it's kind of funny because This morning, J.P. was talking about, Morosi was talking about how, hey, it's the season opener for the Mariners. They got Cal Raleigh back and
J.P. Crawford's back.
Yeah, so this is where we'll celebrate it like it's opening day, and then they throw this on top of it. That's a lot of news, a lot of Mariner news.
We got more news too. Kind of more clarification. Well, this I think must have come from Dan Wilson's media session that happened after Justin Hollander. So the first piggyback day will not be until Friday. So Brian Wu is going to start. He's going to start
Thursday.
Unbothered, I guess. No one coming on after him. So yeah, Brian Wu is going to start on Thursday. And then it's back to the normal piggyback situation. Bryce Miller starting, Luis Castillo in relief. And this will be, Daniel Kramer says, this will be the first of 3 piggyback outings leading into the All-Star break. So no clarification on after that. So it sounds like after that will be the rotating, unclarified yet. But Friday is Miller and then Castillo coming on after him.
I hate that it's Miller. He's rolling.
Yeah,
he's just, of all the guys at this particular moment, he's the hottest. I want as much of him in there as possible. So maybe in their minds it makes sense. Hey, he's coming back from injury. We want to be careful not to overwork him. So we'll start it there. I don't know. This is interesting. So Brian Wu will get the start on Thursday, the finale against the Orioles. And then, all right.
Oh, and J.P. Crawford's starting at third. If this wasn't enough news. The lineup just came out.
Wow.
J.P. Crawford starting at third. Batting leadoff starting at third.
Smokes.
What a day. J.P. Crawford making his debut at third. Has he played a game at third base in his career?
Early on, there was something, I think, in his rookie year with the Phillies. He did play a couple, I believe. Everyone was going back to that.
Cole Young batting 6th, by the way.
Is he?
Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And then Mitch Garver and Miles Mastrobuoni getting work at first base right now. Sounds like Naylor will be out at least a couple of days, according to Adam Jude.
Do the Mariners get some kind of a bonus if they break the most news, maybe? It's
a lot to react to.
This is a lot.
This is a lot of stuff. Yeah, we'll sift through it with Charlie Furbush, who will join us in studio at 4 p.m. So he's got a lot. Hopefully he's listening. He's forming thoughts right now.
Charlie, you better step on it. You got to get into the office, man.
Yeah.
We need help here.
Yeah, we got Matt Nelson designing pitching rotations. Everything up is down, black is white. It's, we're in the bizarro Seinfeld world right now. Meanwhile, what benefit could Cal Raleigh have gotten from that rehab stint? We'll hear the answer when we sweep the dial. That is coming up with Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
Have you downloaded the Seattle Sports app?
We're going to have a challenge right here.
What are you waiting for?
Listen to this.
Every pitch.
Here comes the 3-2.
Every game.
Swung on and missed. Got him.
One app for free.
How about that, folks?
The Seattle Sports app. Every game.
Julio racing back.
Right in the palm of your hands.
Makes a leap and makes the catch.
Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
They caught it. Wow.
The Seattle Sports app.
The price of gold has doubled in the past 2 years, and both gold and silver reached their highest price ever earlier this year. Hey, it's Dave Wyman here, and the folks at Bellevue Rare Coins say higher prices have enticed more Americans to cash out their jewelry, gold, and silver items, some of which have been in families for generations. And if you're trying to time the market, there's no guarantee prices will stay this high forever. Let me tell you a story from a real local customer. She walked into Bellevue Rare Coins with an old bag of jewelry, nervous and a little bit embarrassed because it was mostly old tangled chains and pieces that she hadn't looked at in years. And after a few minutes, the good people at Bellevue Rare Coins made her feel comfortable enough to take a look. And because gold was near record highs, her jewelry was worth far more than she imagined. And she said, when they gave me the total, my knees literally buckled. Then I laughed and said, I can't believe I almost donated this stuff. So just go see what your jewelry is worth. It's a free consultation, no pressure, won't cost you anything. You can find Bellevue Rare Coins now in Linwood, Issaquah, Tacoma, and of course Bellevue, or you can go to BellevueRareCoins.com.
Do you need a new roof? Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free estimate and secure $500 off your project this summer. Our technicians build a custom plan to ensure a high-quality roof installation every time. 3Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Grill math is simple. More people to feed means more food and supplies and more reasons to save big. Get more out of summer at Chef Store with warehouse savings for your restaurant, food truck, or barbecue. Open to the public, no membership required. Visit Chef Store today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Do you know a woman making a difference in Seattle's sports and events community? Someone who leads with purpose, mentors others, champions inclusion, and inspires those around her to be their best. Why Seattle and Seattle Sports want to celebrate her. Nominations are now open for the 2026 Women of Inspiration Award, recognizing an outstanding woman whose impact is helping shape the future of sports and events in our region. Submit your nomination today at woiseattle.org. That's woiseattle.org. Nominations close July 10th.
Mariners and Orioles tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You deserve a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Switch today. Get started for $60 a month for 12 months when you add an advanced solution to a qualifying internet package. Limited time offer. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and autopay with bank account required. Taxes and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
In October baseball, every pitch matters and every decision is magnified. In the postseason, teams don't rely on hope. They rely on preparation and experience. Divorce works much the same way, but the consequences of a bad call don't last a game, they last a lifetime. At Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men, we provide the preparation and experience to protect your finances, your children, and your future. Go to goldbergjones.com to get your questions answered at no charge. goldbergjones.com.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
All right, so a lot from the Mariners, obviously. We'll get to this clip from Justin Hollander explaining why Josh Naylor and Randy Rosarena are not in the lineup. First, to just kind of mention the lineup, it is unique. So you have J.P. Crawford playing third. He's leadoff. Cal's back catching, batting second. Julio's in center. Dom Canzone is batting fourth and in right field. Rob Refsnyder, against a righty, is batting fifth. He's the DH. Cole Young, the second baseman. Victor Robles is playing left field, and he's batting 7th. Colt Emerson, the shortstop, batting 8th. And Miles Masterboni, the first baseman, batting 9th. And this was Justin Hollander a few minutes ago talking about Naylor and Arozarena and what they're dealing with.
Brandy, still day-to-day. Nails will be day-to-day still. More insult to injury, meaning the shin is fine, his wrist is still bothering him, so he'll be day-to-day. Probably not in there today. Randy, same thing. He's getting an MRI right now just to make sure that there's not anything more than what we're thinking. Great likelihood is that he's back tomorrow and available off the bench today possibly. So we'll see where Randy's at after the MRI today just to make sure.
What was Randy again? Hamstring?
Yeah. Interesting that they've got, so they're facing a righty, right?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they have Rayleigh in there as your DH?
Yeah.
As opposed to Refsnyder?
Right.
What am I missing there?
I don't think you're missing anything, Bob.
I demand answers, Lefko.
He was brought in to hit left-handed pitching.
And he's facing a righty.
Yeah.
And he's not been good. And Rayleigh has. I think he's your team leader in home runs with a righty on the hill, and he's not in the lineup. I wonder.
Leading in home runs.
Huh. All right. I got nothing on that.
Sweeping
I don't
the
know what to
dial.
say.
Yeah, we're all confused here. That was a lot of information that just came down in the past, 15, 20 minutes? So we'll sift through it the next hour plus. Non-baseball news. This was Sam Darnold. He had a pretty big conversation, cool sit down. I guess not really a sit down. He was kind of walking and talking on the fields out there at the VMAC with Evan Washburn of the NFL on CBS. And he was dissecting the most important element that he worked on when it comes to how he throws.
Another big thing I've worked on too is like my hips and like making sure my hips are leading. So if you look at older clips of me, I get leany, like I get leaned over the top and I'm not using any of my posterior lower body. So I'm really making sure that I'm like staying a little bit back to an extent. Like I feel like I'm here, but I'm more upright. So when I get filmed and I feel like, oh, I'm here, and then all of a sudden on camera, I see that I'm like actually upright.
It's not what
like,
you, it's
yeah,
not what
it's
you,
getting to that feel to where I'm here, but then it's actually just coming out super clean, and that way I can actually use my lower body.
Because ideally, you want to take as much pressure and torque off, I imagine, your shoulder and your elbow.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? I think we might be able to get Brock Heward to tell us what leany means.
Yeah, it's hard to hear. He's saying it's here, and when I'm here.
Yeah, because it's
tough
a
on
video
video.
that they're. Yeah, but
have you talked to Brock's people?
Yeah, I had to go. I went directly to Brock. Actually, I know I'm kind of a big deal in his life.
People.
Yeah, but no, seriously. I mean, that would be interesting. Here's the good news: Sam Darnold just came off a Super Bowl victory and quieted a lot of critics. And he wasn't really out there in the media. You didn't see him taking a big trip or doing anything and talking. I mean, he was very quiet. And this is what he's been working on. Mm-hmm. You know, like his
working on getting better.
Yeah. I mean,
love it.
And that really is kind of what the sort of theme was out at practice and OTAs. That what we saw is that like a bunch of guys that were just working on their craft. And the fact that Sam was very quiet about it and just went right back to work, I love it. Absolutely love it. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be interesting to see like how he starts. Because remember last year in camp, really Drew Lock was better early on. Remember when we were watching practices out there and he was making all kinds of throws, and Sam not so much. So I think it'll be interesting to see how he goes to work and how he gets some of those things done. I heard another clip from him where he's talking about Rashid and how I need to get it, like just let the ball fly and let him run under it a little bit. Because he had a couple where he underthrew Rashid Shaheed and just like getting used to his kind of speed. So yeah, I love that about Sam Darnold, that he just has been very low key. And the first thing we hear from him really since the Super Bowl is him talking about how he's working on his steps and, you know, how he leans his body and how he gets torque, you know, from his lower body. I mean, this is good news.
Sweeping the dial.
I guess the one guy that is there in the lineup is the one everyone kind of wanted to see. Didn't realize it would mean a lot of other guys would be injured. But Cal Raleigh is back. He is catching and hitting second tonight. And Harold Reynolds on MLB Central was breaking down some things he saw from Cal during his rehab stint and why he thinks it's going to click now for Cal Raleigh.
I said he hit 5. I'm not going to show you all 5 of them. But just the timing, everything's fluid. Even that he's full. But because he's got himself in a good position, he can homer. Now let's go to right side. Same thing. Start early, boom, homer. All right, now, here's what he's added. I want you to just watch this because if you look at what he's doing, just to silhouette, he's moving already. He's moving early before the pitcher even delivered. He was a still, stiff hitter. Now he's got rhythm even before the ball is thrown. And boom, Cal Raleigh is back. And I think he will be on fire when he comes back to the big leagues starting tomorrow. What?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny watching those, and I saw that breakdown that Harold was talking about there, and it looked exactly like every home run he hit last year. And whereas, this year didn't really see, there was just something kind of off a little bit, maybe because of the oblique injury. I like to think that is the case. But yeah, it was kind of uncanny how his swing, how easy it was, and it looked like every one of the home runs that he hit last year.
Yeah, I hope Harold's on it. I hope that's absolutely true, and he comes out and feels like I found it. I've got my swing, my timing's there, and I'm ready just to be that guy that we saw last year. So,
by the way, they said everybody was in on the conversation with the piggyback thing, including Cal.
They just said the 6 starters.
Huh?
They just said the 6 starters.
Yeah.
According to Adam Jude.
Yeah, I'm curious. I would think that Cal would be a big part of that. Like his input.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they did. I'm sure we'll find out more. But we're gonna get into everything going on with the Mariners. What does Charlie Furbush think about the Mariners pitching situation and J.P. playing third base and all of this? We'll get into all of it. He's going to join us in studio next. It's Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Here's the 0-1. He's back. Swung on. That is destroyed. Cal Raleigh, a massive homer.
He hit 5 of them in the last week in AAA. Don't miss Cal Raleigh's return when the Mariners take on the Orioles tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40.
We just haven't talked enough about the fact that this team hasn't had the real Cal Raleigh for most of this season.
Listen to every at-bat wherever you are on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, when was the last time you inspected your crawl space or your attic? What's the last time you went in there just to see what kind of shape they're in? Oh, never? Yeah, same. I don't want to go in there. Most homeowners completely avoid those areas, but it is important to check on them regularly. It's why you call Crawl Pros. They'll come out and go where you don't want to. Hey, it's Mike Salk here. And yes, when Crawl Pros came out to my place, they realized we had a little problem with our insulation. So they've set about fixing it, and they did a great job. But if you've got the same problem, they'll also look to see what kind of energy rebates are available. Right now, local utility companies are incentivizing homeowners to make their home more energy efficient with proper insulation. And some homes qualify for several $1,000s in savings with these utility rebate programs. So don't just assume your crawl space and attic are in great condition. Do what I did. Call Crawl Pros today and schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection and find out if you've got water intrusion, mold, rodent issues, or even damaged insulation. Schedule your crawl space and attic inspection at crawlpros.com.
I was walking my dog. I fell and ended up with 3 tears in my meniscus. I was sent to a surgeon and they said the only way to get this fixed is to have surgery. That just wasn't an option. I didn't want to jump into surgery without trying anything else.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. We offer Jamie an alternative to the downtime and potential risks associated with invasive knee surgery. At Sound Pain Solutions, we help patients like Jamie avoid the side effects of painkillers, cortisone injections, and pain following surgery. Our comprehensive approach includes treatments like pressure wave, PRP, and advanced laser. These treatments reduce pain and restore mobility naturally. Now Jamie is able to do everything she enjoys without pain.
I'm grateful for being able to wake up every day and not be in pain. To be able to go about my day has been amazing.
Schedule a free consultation to learn if you qualify for our non-surgical and drug-free joint treatments at soundpainsolutions.com.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 22nd, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add one line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. 4, 6, and $8 biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
You can never have too many tools. Shop DeWalt deals at Lowe's. Get a free Select DeWalt 20-volt max power tool when you buy a Select 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery kit. Plus, get a free additional DeWalt 20-volt max 8-amp-hour battery when you buy a DeWalt 10-inch 20-volt max dual-bevel compounded miter saw. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 6/24 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Okay, class, let's begin.
Psst, love your boots. I just sold a pair like that on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took like 2 seconds to list, and they sold almost immediately. I've been selling everything lately. Some chunky boots, a faux fur coat I never wore, and a vintage chair that was more of an expensive clothing rack.
You know, I actually bought these on eBay. Wait, are you Kitty Sell Stuff from Brooklyn?
Okay, quiet, please.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, lots of moves happening with the Mariners. We'll get into all those coming up. But right now, all you need to know is they're going to play some baseball tonight with the Baltimore Orioles in town. Game 1 of a 3-game series begins tonight with Logan Gilbert on the hill. He gets the start in Game 1. Mariners looking to get back into the win column after going 4-6 on that 10-game road trip. You can catch it all right here starting at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch, Seattle Sports on 710.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Now, Dave, we always love when Charlie Furbush is in studio with us as it sits anyway, right?
Yeah.
Just a regular baseball kind of day. We're talking about what we saw on the road trip and everything,
Sure.
but when the news just explodes the way that it does prior to his arrival, it feels like it's fate. Like this is,
It is.
You were meant to be here, Charlie
And
Furbush.
we want some answers, damn it.
We demand answers.
I am here.
And they better be better than the ones you were giving Dave during the break. I don't know, doesn't work here. But let's start because there's a lot to get to. And Charlie Furbush is here with us in studio for the hour, as he is each and every week. You guys can text in at 866-979-3776. We were all wondering, all right, what's going to happen with the rotation? And we found out. The tweet from Adam Jude came out that the Mariners are going back. I'll read it as he wrote it. The Mariners are going back to a piggyback pitching plan with a significant alteration. Every starter will rotate through and have a piggyback day through the All-Star break. This was a, in quotes, unanimous decision with all 6 starters involved in the planning, Justin Hollander said. Your thoughts?
First thought is I am glad they are communicating. I think that's a big part of it. Without a doubt, how it kind of first unfolded, a month ago or so, it's just I think there was some lack of communication, and it just left a, sour taste in someone's mouth from time to time. Now seeing it, it's very interesting to see where this is going to go. But I think when you have a plethora of really good starting pitchers, you're trying to do the best you can to keep them, stretched out and be in that rotation as long as possible. But the piggyback situation, I think, is going to be interesting to see how it unfolds. But at the end of the day, I kind of have to be the optimistic guy a little bit. It worked. It worked so far. So I know it may not be traditional. It may not be, I've never seen it before. Maybe we talked about this in the break. Maybe we've seen it over a course of a week or two. But this, to communicate publicly and say you're going to do it through the All-Star break just says, all right, well, we think this is the best way to handle it. And the fact that they're going to bring all the guys in rotation in on this and have this conversation and have everyone be willing, it just shows me how really tight these guys are. Yeah. And it shows me that they really, really want to win and take this team to a place the team has never been before. So if this is part of having to deal with this during this, crazy season you play every year, it's like, all right, well, then we're willing to do it. I think it's not going to alter too much. I think as we saw so far, it has worked up into a point, but what it looks like here in the next month, let's say, is going to be, I think, the true test of what this thing really is.
Well, and I think a lot of people are texting in that are very negative texts, but it's just because you've never, yeah. I mean, nobody has said it's a great idea. I don't think.
There were some on Twitter that were saying that, but it was always immediately followed by, "This is the dumbest bleep I've ever heard."
Yeah, but I thought you brought up maybe the most important thing is that they're all in it together, because I can. Thinking, I don't know about Chris Sale. I mean, I don't even know what kind of personality he has, but I'm just thinking maybe you can probably remember some teammates, don't need to name names, that would be like, no, I'm not doing that. This is ridiculous. And it just kind of shows the tightness that they have. I guess the only thing is I felt like Bryce Miller earned the right to get all of him just because he is on fire right now, but it sounds like he's in too. So, yeah, I mean, I think how important is that tightness? Because a lot of people think it's just corny. Like, who cares if they're tight or not, or if they love each other or whatever. Just go play baseball. But how big of a deal is it that they're all in it together?
It is important. I think when you have that mutual bond, that mutual feeling of being on the same team and trying to accomplish the same goals, it ends up being way more valuable than you realize in the long run, because I think when you're disconnected, it can totally pull guys apart and you don't have good relationships. I'm sure you've seen it in your football career, Dave, that there are teammates, there are friends, there are best friends, and there's various levels of friendship, and you only connect with everyone, and not everyone you connect with greatly. But when you have that mutual bond, especially in that rotation, I think it lends itself to actually having everyone become better pitchers, because everyone has each other's backs. Everyone's out there trying to compete and know that you're going to leave it all in the field and do the best you can to set up the team for a win. And I think having that bond really goes a long, long ways. But, you mentioned back in my day, I think if you tried to employ this with Felix Hernandez, it would be really tough for him to be like, yeah, I want to be part of the piggyback situation, I think so. I think that's what to the naked eye, it looks like, oh, well, this is uncomfortable, right? I don't know if I like this, right? But right now, you have to do the best you can at communicating all options and putting everything on the table and knowing where guys are at. I think on obviously the resurgence of Miller, and I think Castillo has still done a pretty good job for what it's worth. It's not like he's completely fallen off the wagon in terms of being a successful-ish starting pitcher at this level. So it's really hard to say, oh, we're going to abandon ship on everyone. But, yeah, I think in the modern-day game, the team is just looking for every way to, one, make sure they don't have to make a move that alters the clubhouse or alters the way the team plays, and then ultimately give everyone the best chance at success, which in turn would give the team the best chance at success, even if it's untraditional and it may rough some waters. They've proven they can get through it, and I still have faith that it can work again. And maybe the Mariners are actually onto something. Like think about how good the Mariners have been at pitching over the course of how many years now, right?
Yeah.
Like they are really, really good at.
Yeah, it's their calling card.
That's their calling card. And who would anyone be surprised if they just said they were like, wait a minute, we might be onto something. This piggyback thing might actually work. And obviously this is me just playing the skeptical game here, just trying to make something up. But it's like maybe they are onto something and it could work in the long run. And other teams go, wow, well, instead of having to just keep it a 5-man, we could actually do 6. We can navigate these things. And ultimately guys are better in short spurts and then trying to have every guy in the rotation throw 200 innings each year. Like, oh, maybe we don't need that. Maybe we need guys that are throwing a little bit less innings and having more guys kind of pitch more innings out of the bullpen, if you will, or piggyback style. So I think the problem, though, is that when it goes awry, it becomes kind of hard to deal with when you're down a pitcher, in the bullpen.
Yeah, and you're talking about everybody being in it together. The 253 said the crew of the Titanic was also in it together.
Great comp. Yeah,
I'd say this is being poorly received at this point.
Great comp.
Mechanically speaking, how do you think it works? So they're going to start Friday. Friday is going to be the first one, and it is Bryce Miller again, which, man, coming off that last start and just how good he's been, I don't want to limit him, but maybe they're looking at it like, hey, he was hurt, so let's baby step him, and I don't know. I don't know what their logic is, but the first piggyback will be this Friday. Miller starts. Castillo comes out of the bullpen. According to Daniel Kramer, this will be the first of 3 piggyback outings leading into the All-Star break based on how the schedule and off days slot. But how do they – so if everybody's on board, I'm curious, is it always going to be Luis coming out of the bullpen? And this time it'll be with Logan, and this time it'll be with George. I haven't heard any clarity, and maybe somebody followed up.
Or is it Logan and Kirby or that combination?
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe it's not always Luis. I tend to assume it's him. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I shouldn't assume that, but seems like it's always Luis because his next start would come up if the next 5 days would be it lands on Logan's day or lands on Woo's day or whatever. But I couldn't see him doing it with today it's Woo and Kirby. That wouldn't seem to make a ton of sense to me.
They explicitly said that Castillo is the second of the piggyback always
on Friday. See, that's what's not been clear. Yeah, this is all I've seen. I haven't seen any clarity on how the mechanics are going to work. Which this Friday.
Which tells me that he is going to get a start again, right? Like
Luis.
Yeah, like I just based on how I think it would unfold is like you would then essentially. If he's just going to be a piggyback guy, then you're in the bullpen.
He's essentially a bullpen arm.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about here, right?
We're talking about semantics, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Unless they're just saying, hey, it's going to be him coming out of the bullpen, but it's going to be automatic. Like, Charlie, you're going 4 innings today, or you're going 5.
You know I'm going 4 or 5 innings. Come on.
So, and it's just the plan is you go 4, whatever their plan is. You go 4, he's coming in for 5, or vice versa. But I guess that would be the difference then rather than, we got a slew of lefties, we're going to bring in Spire, we're going to bring in this. It's just going to be that guy.
Well, I think the one thing that we haven't done is fully looked at the schedule and the matchups and the lineups that they're going to face and figure out if there's any history of success. Obviously, there are certain pitchers that you look at just some of the splits this year on home and road stuff. Obviously, with Woo and Gilbert, they have these kind of drastic splits going on. So
totally opposite of each other.
Right. So if there is a way to mitigate some of this based on just recent trends, that maybe the schedule will kind of allow the Mariners to navigate this in a way that gives everyone the best chance at success based on history. Obviously, it may not line up that way every time, but I would imagine they're looking 2-3 weeks in ahead and going, all right, well, if this all slots in, we could essentially use this off day And then this series against the Red Sox, this series, against the Angels, whatever have you, and try to cherry pick the times that you're doing it and use it to your advantage. It may not work out that way, but I'm guessing that's how they're looking at it is, well, how do we navigate the schedule and give ourselves the best chance of success while keeping everyone happy?
Maybe they'll draw straws. How about that? Would that be a nice little twist there? No, I'm joking. What about Cal? Because I know in Jude in his tweet he said all the pitchers are in it, but what do you think? You think Cal's weighing in on this, or they might ask him? I know he hasn't been with the team, but you think maybe that's maybe he's involved in one way or another? They use him?
Yeah, I mean, as a absolute cornerstone leader of this organization, I would be a little shocked if he wasn't in the loop.
Part of it.
Yeah, I don't know if he's sitting on every single conversation, but as a guy that's in tune with everything going on, offense, defense, pitching, everything, yes, he is definitely involved because he knows these guys. He knows their personalities. He wants to understand, what's going on, so then he can be, even hurt it. How can I, when he got hurt, he's like, how can I not only learn to be better physically, but how can I be a better teammate? Things like this, right? You can figure out ways to make people feel better about situations that they're in. So I think Cal is it's just such a perfect time for him to come back in the lineup. So what he provides to that staff, to their rotation, is just kind of invaluable.
Yeah, you got a bunch of people texting in questions for you.
Yes.
All the what ifs.
Am I still drinking Kool-Aid from last week?
No, but we're just getting a lot of what ifs, and there's so much that's we don't even know what goes on beyond this Friday.
This is great. What if?
Well,
Let's
they're
play
saying
the what if game.
This is saying, please ask Charlie, and you guys can chime in too. Do we still use leverage arms in the 8th and 9th if needed, or does one guy pitch 5 and the other guy pitches for no matter what? And then further, if a guy has a one-hitter through 5, as we've seen happen, are they leaving some room to keep that person going?
So
they're asking you to speculate.
Two questions. Yeah. First question, I think you have to, as an organization, as a team, as a coaching staff, you have to make the best decision to try and win the game. And I think when you rewind to that first piggyback, and Castillo came out of the bullpen at home, and then he came in for the 9th, and then walked a guy or whatever, and then Munoz came in mid-inning.
Didn't they use Ferrer to bridge the gap to get the final out of an inning?
Yeah. Anyways, I think using guys out of the bullpen in the situations you should use them. Yes, you should probably lean that way. And hey, sorry, whoever it is in the rotation that didn't get the amount of pitches that they thought they were going to get on the piggyback, go to the bullpen. Go get some extra work. Go down in the cage. There's mounds. You can get some extra throws in if you want to just continue to build that stamina and make sure that you're ready to go if you are called for the next start. So if you only throw 45 pitches, go throw 20 more down in the cage.
That's a good point.
We got a couple quotes here from Dan to play for you. This is the full outline of the piggyback plan moving forward.
We had a meeting with all the starters in Washington and discussed kind of how we're going to proceed. And, we have the 6 starters, starting on Friday. We're going to start a series of 3 piggybacks between here and the All-Star break. And we're asking each of our starters to take one of those. And so, I think our guys really have taken to the idea. I think it was, really we talk a lot about that group and how they work well together, how they lean into each other, how they are all about this team and about winning, and they understand, just how important this stretch is, and so all these guys are on board with doing what's best for our club right now and what's best for our bullpen, and these guys are ready to go and ready to take it on, and it just continues to prove over and over again just what a special group that this starting staff is, and starting on Friday will be the first one. There'll be 2 more piggybacks as we get into the stretch here to the All-Star break.
So and I got one more to play here in a moment, but he said everybody's agreed to take a turn with it, yet we know it's Miller and Castillo on Friday. So you only have 2 other piggyback starts before the All-Star break. So you got 3 other starters. So is it Wu, Kirby, Gilbert? Which of those 2 is it going to be if it's not Miller again?
Well,
Or Hancock, there's 4. So
yeah, I mean, it makes me think if you teamed them up in 2s. So Miller and Castillo are doing their own thing.
Then it could be Hancock and Kirby, and it could be.
I'd probably want to see Gilbert and Hancock together, and then Wu and Kirby together.
Why is that?
I think I'm playing up with the height here, so obviously Gilbert and Hancock, big guys, can get it by guys on the regular, and I don't know. I think that would be a better matchup instead. I mean, yeah, you could argue maybe switching heights and going. I don't know. I don't know about Wu and Gilbert. Just seem like they're both so good, right? I almost want to have them separate and then have a piggyback with them. But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see, especially when you hear it when he says there's gonna be 2 more, and it's like, well, if everyone's involved, if you have to put the math together and make everyone involved, that means there's 4 starts or 4 guys involved, and that means if there's already 2 doing Friday, the rest of the other 2.
Yeah, because I'm looking at it like it's all right. Castillo and Miller,
right?
Then is it going to be Castillo? I'm throwing Castillo in each thing every 5th day, but
it makes sense to do that just
because there's only 2. Because there's only 2 more beyond Friday.
Right.
So it would be Castillo, wouldn't
it? But they didn't explicitly say either when they were going to do this.
Well, here he is saying that they don't know yet the order or the pitchers for the final 2 piggyback games yet.
No, I mean we're looking at it. We have it mapped out. We're not we just don't know what's going to happen between now and then. So it's we have a pretty good idea. I think the guys have really, when you look at Jerry and Justin and the pitching coaches have done a tireless work and put a big plan together, and I think it should go pretty seamlessly. But you just don't know what's down the road or down the pike, and we'll adjust if we have to.
All right, so they don't know.
We're trying to figure it out. It should go pretty seamlessly, though. I find that hard to believe.
I got to tell you, just
keep winning.
I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm not. I'm just like, you don't really know what's going to happen. You're going to have to adjust on the fly, and so trying to predict it would almost be like a fool's errand, right?
Well, the way we're talking about it, first blush, I don't like the idea of pairing Emerson and Logan and Kirby and Wu. I don't. Maybe it'll work out. Maybe at the end of it, I'll go, hey, they were right. I was wrong. But first blush reaction to it, I don't like that.
I get it. I mean,
I'd rather it be Castillo because he's the guy I think you want to limit the exposure. I don't think you want him facing the lineup 3 times. I think he's already shown he can come out of the bullpen. I think he works. You saw his velocity was up in those starts. I just think he's more impactful in a shorter amount of time. So I'd prefer, and if it's every 5th day, so if he goes this time, I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're going to do, man.
I'm
trying to do the math on this thing going, all right, well, it lines up for him to do it again the second time, but maybe he starts and.
Yeah, I mean, I think the clear-cut thing is like in the old school way, the guy who's performing the least goes to the bullpen, right? That's just historically how it goes. And, I think you still see it to this day when there is a lack in that 5th start of a rotation that it may be, all right, well, you're going to the bullpen or you're going back to AAA to work on your craft, and figure it out that way. And what I said to you guys earlier in the break was I think when you look at specifically Castillo and his career and what he did in Cincinnati and how good he was over the course of those years before he got traded to Seattle and then really became a kind of a force in this rotation. And you saw a couple outings where he was lights out, nasty, upper 90s, everything was awesome, and he has that mound presence. And I think that when all the other guys in the rotation see that history, see that resume, see how he carries himself, see what he does as a successful starting pitcher, and I just think they look at him with a lot of respect and look up to him and know that you taught us a lot of things along the way, and you helped us learn these things maybe sooner than we would have had you not been here. I think he offers that sense of veteran leadership within the rotation, and I think that all the other guys look up at him and say, yeah, I would love to have a career like Luis Castillo.
Yeah. Well, we're really going to muddy the waters next when we start talking about the young fellas coming up. How about that?
Stir the pot. Let's go.
I guess, look, nobody really has a hard and fast idea of what it's going to be. But again, it goes back to the fact that you have really good starting pitching. And so it's a luxury.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's really hard to sit here and say that a trade wouldn't be happening at some point or another. And I'm not sure if that is the rotation. I think the Mariners is probably envious of the league, being like, wow, your starting pitching depth is fantastic. Unbelievable right now. That problem you have to deal with, where a lot of other teams are struggling in that 4 or 5 rotation spot. Yeah. So I do think something may happen, sooner than later. We'll see, but you almost want to just take advantage of the value you have with the guys you have, and if it's a way to improve the team, it's certainly something I know that Hollander and Dipoto are looking at.
Well, there is another pitching variable that will soon get thrown into the mix for the Mariners. We're going to get into that. Coming up next, we got Charlie Furbush in studio with us for the hour. It's Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Here's the 0-1.
He's back.
Swung on. That is destroyed. Cal Raleigh, a massive homer.
He hit 5 of them in the last week in AAA.
Don't miss Cal Raleigh's return when the Mariners take on the Orioles tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40.
We just haven't talked enough about the fact that this team hasn't had the real Cal Raleigh for most of this season.
Listen to every at-bat wherever you are on the Seattle Sports app.
It's Dave Wyman here, and you've heard me talk about a local company for over a year now, Harley Exteriors. And I recently sat down with them, and I was really excited to hear about the many Seattle Sports listeners they've worked with on window and door replacements. And right now, Harley Exteriors has stepped up with a can't-miss offer. $450 off each new window, $1,000 off each patio door or entry door, 12-month and 18-month, no interest, no payment options, plus $200 off your final project total. And if that isn't enough to get you started on a new project, I don't know what is. So do what I did. Schedule a consultation. Call 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Minimum purchase of 4 windows required for window discount. Qualifying windows must be 36 by 36 or larger. No size minimum on patio or entry doors. Financing subject to credit approval. Cannot be combined with other offers outside this promotion. Offer valid through June 30th.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at washingtonaccidentbooks.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack in the $6 Biggie Bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie Bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. 4, 6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Mariners and Orioles tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
Does your yard need shade, privacy, or a little brightening up? Look no further than Big Trees. I'm Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. At our 30-acre location, there are thousands of trees to choose from and knowledgeable staff, including a board-certified master arborist, to help you find exactly what you're looking for. Visit the nursery and learn more about Big Trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You deserve a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Switch today. Get started for $60 a month for 12 months when you add an advanced solution to a qualifying internet package. Limited time offer. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and autopay with bank account required. Taxes and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Need a lift? Levitt Machinery is now your authorized JCB dealer in Washington and Oregon. From telehandlers to track and wheel loaders to excavators. JCB equipment is built to work as hard as you do. Whether you buy, rent, or lease, Levitt Machinery is here to support you. With expert service and local parts in stock, LevittMachinery.com. Talk to Levitt Machinery today. Stack it, reach it, lift it, Levitt.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We got Charlie Furbush in studio with us to provide all the answers. All the answers. Text in your questions, 866-979-3776.
Lots of pressure.
We're still,
Bring it on.
people should know, we're working during the commercial break. We're sitting there going, well, what if they did this, though? So if it includes this guy in this spot and this guy in this, they could do it like that. We're trying to figure out what their logic is, like how this is going to look. Is it going to involve the other guys in the way you were talking about that, all right, maybe Wu starts and here comes Kirby out of the bullpen and maybe Logan start. I mean, that feels really weird to me. But
so many options.
So many options.
So much to do.
Right, and I think that's the tough thing is because there are so many options and there is still so many games left, it's hard to even, you heard it when Dan was talking, like, it's hard to answer that question right now. We don't know what's going to happen over the next couple of weeks. We may have to change the course of the plan again based on what we're dealing with. So I think it's really hard to future game plan things when you have to deal with a series. You have to deal with what's in front of you. And, you know, it's a little different like in football where you're like, oh, I got this whole week to kind of plan and execute and really drive this home. And in baseball, you're like, we're going to have to wing it today and see what happens because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know if we're going to win, if we're going to lose, if somebody's going to get hurt. You know, there's so many variables, and then you have to make a call during or after the game of how you're going to handle, you know, roster moves and stuff. So it's a constant game of adjustments that you're just waiting to see kind of how it unfolds and then try to make the best decision you can.
Well, and this kind of happens in football the same way that now all of a sudden you get all these ideas in your head of what this is going to look like and this is how it's going to go, and it goes just a totally different way. I mean, and that's why I always talk about, like, you know, some of the preseason games, while you don't get a lot of work on the things you really want to work on because the game goes.
Yeah, you got out there and they're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, we didn't get this, we didn't get that, we didn't get any short yardage situations or whatever, and that's, you know, same in baseball. Like, you never know if a guy's gonna all of a sudden, you know, foul off 5 pitches and now your pitch counts up, and you know, those kinds of things. So. But I got to imagine that, like, there's an A, B, C, D, E type of, like, option as far as
I hope there is.
Well, I think the plan right now is, like, if we if the Mariners keep winning, then it doesn't matter, right? I think that's the point. It's like, all right, well, if we win, then these questions don't matter, right? Like we can. That's how we silence the critics.
Yeah, and they kind of did initially,
right?
Because it worked before. The guys weren't happy. I mean, look, Bryce Miller made it pretty clear. He's like, it's you deal. How did he screwed up the saying? He was basically saying you play the cards you're dealt, but he's like, you deal the cards you're dealt. You know, you know, you could tell he wasn't happy with it. And Castillo, for his part, obviously, we saw him on the bench, didn't seem happy with it. So, but they did it, and it worked. So, how it works moving forward, I don't know. But just to muddy the waters even more, what about in your opinion, Kade Anderson is killing Double A. It almost feels unfair. He's got a 1.13 ERA. He's got like 80 strikeouts and 7 walks. It's ridiculous. So feels like he's a man amongst boys, and the talk of him coming up is getting louder and louder. What would his role be, though? Would you? We had John Morosi on yesterday, and I'll play his comment for you in a second. But what would your feeling be about calling him up? And if you did, would you call him up as a bullpen guy or as a starter?
Really tough. I'm biased. I went to LSU. We're LSU boys. I want him to be a starter. I think that'll happen in the long run, and that's obviously why they drafted him. But if you think of just where he's at right now and getting into that professional life and now dominating Double A, whether he really needs to go to Triple A, I don't know at this point because he's clearly just pitching so well. But he could be on like a similar track, oddly enough, to a guy you said earlier, Dave, is Chris Sale. Chris Sale came up out of college and pitched out of the bullpen for the White Sox, and everyone was like, whoa, this guy is incredible. And then he's now turned into this future Hall of Fame pitcher and ended up going to the rotation a year or two later maybe. Maybe the Mariners are just trying to protect Kade and do the best they can to develop him and have him, handle the professional life. And then maybe I'm guessing in September, bringing him up as that extra weapon in the bullpen and deploy him that way. I don't know if you want to deploy him early on in the season. Like if he's going to be a starter long term, let's see if we can build those innings up, see if he can withstand the innings. I think that's kind of valuable.
Well, I'll play you Morosi's cut because you just hit on what it was he was saying to us about that.
I believe as we speak here on June the 15th, there is a better than 50-50 chance. I'm going to say 60-40 that he is a part of the Mariners pitching plans at some point between now and the end of the regular season. The numbers are undeniable at this moment in time. I would not have him as a reliever in the major leagues until September. And here's why. If you call him up as a reliever now and say, okay, now you just basically take Matt Brash's job, I say no because he's never done it before. And then if you call him up now and you sort of short-circuit interrupt his development as a starter in the minor leagues right now, then you're going to end up paying the toll for that next year when he's dealing, and then you say, oh, my gosh, oh, no, we got to cut him off at 120 innings because he only had 90 innings or so or 100 innings in the whole season in 2026. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to impact his 2027.
Ooh, you and Morosi are smart. You're simpatico.
I didn't even hear him say that, so I did not listen, okay?
But it's true, though. Basically exactly what you were just saying.
Yes. Yeah. I think the development, it would be different if this was Kade's second or third season in the minors. Right. But this is his first time into professional baseball, and I think you want to give him the best chance to build up the workload and what it takes to be a successful starting pitcher at the big league level and try to get that innings limit as high as you can. Even in college, he's coming off a bunch of innings, and I think as a guy that has had Tommy John previously, they're looking at this like, okay, how do we formulate this program to keep you as healthy as long as possible? I think the perfect example is like that. Chris Sale bring him up in the bullpen, have him be a late inning guy or a guy that can get a big lefty out when you need him, and it just adds that extra weapon and then gives him that experience at this level, and he knows that it's temporary, right? Like they know this is not the long-term plan for Kade Anderson based on what he's already proven at this point. So you give him that taste of the big leagues and some high leverage stuff, and he takes it, learns from it, and comes back into 27 and says, yeah, well, now I got 150 innings or 140 innings under my belt, whatever it ends up being. And that's something to build off into next year, and I don't have to get capped, like Morosi said, and say, oh, well, we got to protect yourself from yourself, so you can't go over 120, and that just limits the entire season of how you would deploy him. And you ultimately look at this guy as a 30-start guy, 200 innings, the way he's pitching at this point.
Yeah, well, the part that stood out in that quote, for me anyway, was that Morosi was like, his stats are undeniable. So, I mean, do you think most teams are probably going to bring him up with those kinds of numbers, right?
Yeah, but the caveat is the Mariners are dealing with 6 pretty good starters.
Yeah.
Even though the situation is a little weird currently, but it's like, okay, well, where's the move, right? And are you ready to withstand if there is any sort of get to the big leagues and then it happens too fast? You have a couple of bad outings. Do we then send him back down and have him come back up? I mean, there's a lot of different things you kind of go through, but it's all good things the Mariners have. Like, it's a really good place to have this depth, to have these great prospects waiting to help you out, and they're going to do the best they can to put the team in a chance to win. And if it takes Kade Anderson or even a Ryan Sloan out of the bullpen in September, these could be sneaky good weapons and an immense experience for these players to take their careers to the next level.
Real quick before the break here, Jeff Passan on the other side of this thinks we're going to see Anderson in the bullpen soon.
I think I'd probably bring him up pretty soon because I know that he is going to be in the bullpen because there's going to be an innings cap coming at some point. And I would rather it be on a team that's lost its closer and that's lost a guy who would have been the closer otherwise and is turning to a guy. And by the way, Nick DeVille has been awesome, but is turning to a guy who 3 years ago got cut by another team.
And then, real quick, followed up, outlines how they would utilize him in the bullpen.
Having him in as a 6-out guy or even a 9-out guy, somebody who can bridge you between the starters and Munoz, Brash, Davila, whoever, Gabe Spire, whoever it is that's closing at that point. Having him as a weapon who you can deploy not every day. I don't think you're running Kade Anderson in back-to-backs unless it's like absolute crunch time and you're trying to capture the division in a playoff spot, or if it's in the postseason. And there aren't a whole lot of opportunities for back-to-backs in the postseason.
What do you think? So he's got him in mind as a long relief guy?
Yeah, right. I don't know. I mean, the way that he described that, it makes it seem like he's coming in when the starter didn't do well and the Mariners are losing. So, hey, go cover the innings. But in the scenario that he played out, it made it seem like the starter would go 6 innings, then he's going to pitch 2 innings, and then are you going to it didn't math up in my head.
Yeah.
And I just think I don't know if that's the best way to develop Kade Anderson. To bring him in a situation where you think he could be this middle relief guy, essentially a piggybacker.
We got enough of that going on right now. For the love of God. Meanwhile, in addition to the pitching news, the Mariners also had significant changes with their position players today. We'll get into that with Charlie Furbush in studio. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Here's the 0-1.
He's back.
Swung on. That is destroyed. Cal Raleigh, a massive homer.
He hit 5 of them in the last week in AAA.
Don't miss Cal Raleigh's return when the Mariners take on the Orioles tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40.
We just haven't talked enough about the fact that this team hasn't had the real Cal Raleigh for most of this season.
Listen to every at-bat wherever you are on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton here for Dr. Mark Wagner, and honesty and integrity is what sets him apart. Dr. Wagner at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. I've been working with Dr. Wagner for a couple of years now. Bob, you've heard me talk about him, heard the testimonials. He was really straight with me, and that was really important to me. My right knee needs replacement, and he told me I can't help you. So, not all doctors will give it to you straight like that. But, after you heard me talk about Dr. Wagner, or as you said, droned on about Dr. Wagner.
Said you were yammering.
You decided to go see him yourself, and tell us what your experience was like.
Yeah, I think it seeped into my subconscious, all of the conversation you had about him and all the testimonials, because I thought I was looking at surgery on my hip after years of trying to maintain these injuries. I was getting steroid injections, physical therapy.
Trying to do karate
in the garage. It was not working. So I went to see Dr. Wagner. He took a look at the imaging, and he told me, I can help you. Now, you have a lot of things going on in there. It's not a one-stop shop. It cures everything, but it will help. And he undersold it because it is night and day, 180-degree difference.
Under-promised, over-delivered, right?
Yep.
So whether it's a shoulder, a hip like Bob had, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. With burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and local service, our promise to the Puget Sound remains the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
Olympic Hot Tubs mid-year clearance event is on. Score big savings on saltwater hot tubs, saunas, and swim spas. Hurry, our mid-year clearance and these incredible deals end June 30th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Play with purpose, compete fairly, track progress. Michael Bumpus here. A golf handicap does more than just keep score. It helps you enjoy the game more. 1, it helps you set goals that match your actual skill level. 2, it makes competition fun and fair no matter who you're playing with. And 3, it lets you track your progress so you can measure improvement over time. It only takes 3 18-hole rounds to establish your handicap index. Just sign up for a handicap ID, post your scores, and get started. Learn more at wagolf.org/710.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And right now, new mattresses start at $1,500 during our 4th of July sale. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
On top of home and auto, Progressive protects your boat, RV, and motorcycle so you can explore the unknown.
Actually, we just take the RV to the same campground every year.
Well, maybe you can catch your own dinner on your boat.
Oh, we can actually get pizza delivered there from this brick oven place we love.
Will you at least try a new topping?
Honestly, probably not. We kind of have a go-to order.
Fine. Just bundle home or auto insurance with your outdoor vehicles with Progressive and stay protected when you go, I guess, where you've gone before. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Do you know a woman making a difference in Seattle's sports and events community? Someone who leads with purpose, mentors others, champions inclusion, and inspires those around her to be their best? Wise Seattle and Seattle Sports want to celebrate her. Nominations are now open for the 2026 Women of Inspiration Award, recognizing an outstanding woman whose impact is helping shape the future of sports and events in our region. Submit your nomination today at woiseattle.org. Nominations close July 10th.
Mariners and Orioles tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over there at People Come First Construction Group. You know I love my acronyms, PCF. They designed and built our outdoor living space for Molly and I, and we just loved it. And right now, PCF is making it easier than ever to get started on your new dream deck with 50% off your custom professional design and architectural drawing package. That means you could save over $9,000 on your project. And with 12 months of no interest, no payment financing, you can design your deck now and pay later. You know, most people who start with a design package end up with the exact outdoor space they've always wanted and dreamed of. This offer is your first step. Do what we did and contact PCF Construction Group today. Get your project ideas, browse amazing photos, and find all the offer details at pcfgroup.com. That's pcfgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space your favorite place. Let people come first.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Some funny text coming in.
Charlie has kicked ass today. It's good. It's good news that we had you in here today, man.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
This is
trying to sort this all out.
This is a mess.
Well, so I just had a texter asking me if I was drunk because it's really easy.
Oh,
I'm like, really?
What was the answer?
They didn't have one. They just said it's really easy. I said, it's weird. The team hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
So go ahead and explain to me while I have another drink. Meanwhile.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Drinking Kool-Aid.
Moving. Yeah, that's right. Moving beyond, and by the way, El Hombre will be with us at the top of the hour at 5 o'clock, so stay tuned for that. But other things going on beyond pitching here. J.P. Crawford is back, and he's starting at third base tonight.
Love it.
You like that?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see. I don't know if I assume he'll be fine. Somebody was texting in like, oh, his arm's not strong enough. Velocity on his throws have not been the problem. Where they are going, been a problem at times.
Yes, location for
sure. You got Mastroboni at first base tonight, right?
Or Garver. They were both taking reps there.
Is that right?
Mastroboni's playing first, right?
Yeah,
they put the lineup out. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, that'll also be kind of interesting. But, last year when Naylor got here, we were like, it doesn't matter where anybody throws the ball. He's just going to vacuum it up.
Right.
And then, I don't know, there's been – maybe it's because we've gotten so used to him being excellent because we didn't – when he came over here, we thought, okay, this is a great bat, but we didn't really know that much about his defense, his ability to steal bases. So, yeah, it's kind of it'll be interesting to see – Mastroboni over there and JP at third.
Yeah, the Mastroboni at first is probably more of a shocker to me than anything.
Well, it goes to the Rayleigh part of this conversation that they have a right-hander they're facing. So that's where your lefties come in, and the guy that leads your team in home runs is Luke Rayleigh, who's on the bench. And he's played first base before. I'm not saying he was great, but he's got familiarity there.
Right.
And, again, you got a righty on the hill, and you're putting Refsnyder in as your DH. Something's got to be happening with Luke that hasn't been said. That just on the surface doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, or an additional planned day off, just how he's feeling. It could be a variety of things, but obviously we'll see how this plays out. Maybe there's wanting to have him off the bench is more important in a late inning situation. But yeah, it is. With JP at third, I think it's just. It's the move they should make, and obviously with the history of JP and how great he's been at shortstop over the history of his career, and then on top of it being like, I want to be a Mariner for life. Like I'm going to do whatever it takes. If I got to go play the hot corner, I'm going to do it. If I got to help Colt Emerson, become a better shortstop, and that's going to help us get to the promised land, then I'm going to do it. So, everything about JP is top notch. So I just, in one way. The thing that's hard about third base is that, the reason why they call it the hot corner is that things happen so fast. So the reaction time is just less.
Right.
So you really got to be ready for any of those balls that hard hit down the line, and it can be challenging and the slow rollers in. So a lot of things I think he's fully capable of handling. But it just continues to show me this guy is just Mariner for life, man. All in. I love it.
Yeah, he's such a – it just seems like what's coming out of this is a lot of really great teammates and, and having Cal back. Like how we haven't even really talked about having him back. I mean, other than his bat, and hopefully he gets back to – because it looks like he's just crushing it down in Tacoma. But as far as like, how much he can help sort of smooth over this whole pitching thing, it seems like – he's kind of a no-nonsense guy, and the pitchers love him and, feel like he's always got their back.
Yeah,
so.
He's got everything going in all the right ways, and this is the perfect time to have him back off how he's hitting down in AAA, how he's feeling, how he's catching back-to-backs. Everything's lined up for him to come back and really do everything in his power to play every day as often as possible. You heard from him. It's not something he planned to get hurt, and now we've seen it, Dave. We've been there. It's not fun being off the field when you want to be on there and having to deal with that. So once you get that opportunity to be healthy and get back, you really make sure you don't take anything for granted. You go out there and you work hard and do the best you can. But what he does inside that clubhouse, what he does for this pitching staff is such an incredible thing, and his presence is just so strong. And then you match it up with what he can do offensively. I think that's going to be like the real highlight that we're all excited to see, is when Cal starts running into balls and hitting him over the fence. And I would be shocked if it didn't happen tonight. And if it's not going over the fence, he's definitely going to be hitting the ball hard. And I think he's eager to get back and show that he's the Cal Raleigh of old. And when the Mariners are playing well, Cal's right in there being the force in the lineup. So I think everyone's excited to have him back.
Real quick before the break here, just a thought. They optioned Pareda back down to AAA, which I didn't love. I think he's a better baseball player than Mitch Garver. I think he's a better catcher defensively. I think he's certainly proven to be a better hitter. I think Mitch has the power threat over him. Right. But the one intangible that Dave and I were talking about that, we can't judge with our eyes is his relationship with the pitchers. And maybe it's a matter of Mitch, his familiarity with the rotation. They're more comfortable with him, perhaps.
I disagree with you, Bob. I think it was a good move.
Really?
Yeah.
Based on what?
Based on straight-up slugging. Like, Pareda doesn't slug. He's got 2 homers this year, but if you look at the history...
Mitch has 3.
But if you look at the history of Pareda's career, he doesn't slug.
Right.
He's got all these singles, which is great, and yeah, he's doing a good job with the staff, but obviously Mitch has that history, and I think that the Mariners know that I'm assuming they would rather have Mitch Garver, hitting 200 and running into 7, 8, 9 homers every now and again than Pareda. I think that's what the way they look at it is, that because we're going to bank on Cal getting all the work right now, and I think Garver is a better situation to handle the staff and hit homers.
Yeah, I mean he is more of a power threat for sure, but
I think that's the sole reason, right? Is like
really,
yeah,
it hasn't been there this year.
Why? No,
he's got 3.
Right,
that's only 1 more than Pareda.
True,
and he's played more.
But look at you also have to look at track record, right? Like Mitch has hit double-digit homers multiple times in his career. Yeah. So I think they're going to bank on that he's going to get his playing time minimally and pinch hit every now and again and run into a big homer. And I think that's going to be as valuable as what Pareda brings. So I think in one way it's more valuable because of what Mitch does with the pitching staff.
Yeah, and that again is the intangible that we can't gauge from the outside is how he calls a game.
And it's not just the pitching staff; it's the whole clubhouse. It's like his veteran presence is an older guy. What he does to the younger guys, how he helps young men become grown men. So that's something that Pareda just doesn't have that yet. So
yeah. Yep. Charlie, great stuff, man. Perfect day to have you in. We appreciate it as always.
Can't wait till next week.
What would we have done without Charlie here today?
Speculated.
Yeah. We would have talked Seahawks.
Still speculated.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Appreciate it, man.
Of course.
Coming up, we'll get our moral compass to weigh in on the Brendan Sorsby situation, plus everything else happening in the sports world. El Hombre. Michael Bradley joins us next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Here's the 0-1.
He's back.
Swung on. That is destroyed. Cal Raleigh, a massive homer.
He hit 5 of them in the last week in AAA.
Don't miss Cal Raleigh's return when the Mariners take on the Orioles tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40.
We just haven't talked enough about the fact that this team hasn't had the real Cal Raleigh for most of this season.
Listen to every at-bat wherever you are on the Seattle Sports app.
Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Hello. Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning, was online in minutes, then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi?
They even brought their own devices and spell book.
You didn't give them the new Wi-Fi password, right?
No.
That's good.
I gave them our old one. Because Xfinity lets us keep the same network name and password so devices connect instantly.
What do they want Wi-Fi for anyways?
Better not to know. Plausible deniability.
Get streaming or scheming instantly with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in one price for the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi for 5 years. Guaranteed. And see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Did you really think Pure Talk was just going to sit back and watch America turn 250 years old without doing something awesome to celebrate? Of course not. That's why they're raising $250,000 for America's Warrior Partnership by the end of July. America's Warrior Partnership is on the front line of preventing veteran suicide. They've had extraordinary success, and here's how you can help. When you switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk this month, you'll be invited to round up to support America's Warrior Partnership. No pressure, but if you do, Pure Talk will match your donation dollar for dollar. And to further celebrate 250 years of our extraordinary democratic republic, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. That's pound 250, say Mike Rowe. And happy birthday to us.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Less than 4 in 10 kids aged 6 through 12 are playing sports regularly. 4 in 10 kids? Let it sink in. Just 4 in 10 kids. ESPN is building a nationwide coalition powered by Disney called Take Back Sports, with the purpose of training more coaches, expanding access, and creating community-driven sports programming that puts kids and fun first. We're working on that story. We hope you'll join us.
Visit takebacksports.org to learn more.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a hospitality manager at a 5-star hotel.
So I just checked into room 318, but someone was in there.
Room 318. Oh, you were supposed to be booked in 813, which is now booked.
So what do we do?
How about rock, paper, scissors for who gets the bid?
This is the job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Joe Fallon did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he commissioned a portrait of himself. Does Joe already know what he looks like? Yes. Do guests know what he looks like? Also yes. But not as art. It's Joe's savings, and if he wants to spend it on a velvet painting of himself with a white tiger at his feet, we say, roar, Joe, roar. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners are playing some baseball tonight. Game 1 of their 3-game series with the Baltimore Orioles, who are in town. They're going to send Logan Gilbert to the hill in Game 1 for the M's. Brandon Young going for the Orioles. You can catch it all starting at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Taking a look at your scoreboard. Oh, this is going to make El Hombre happy. The Phillies are just thrashing the Marlins 8-0 right now in the top of the 5th inning in Philadelphia. Meanwhile, bottom of the 5th in Washington, Nationals up on the Royals 2-1. It's the Blue Jays up 1-0 on the Red Sox in the bottom of the 4th. They're in the bottom of the 3rd. New York Yankees up 3-1 on the White Sox. Reds are up 4-1 on the Mets in the bottom of the 3rd. And Cincinnati Giants 3-2 over the Braves in the bottom of the 2nd in Atlanta. No score between the Guardians and Brewers, and Padres and Cardinals just getting underway in St. Louis.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
Yeah, you know what you can get me, Pee-wee?
What?
El Hombre.
That was a catastrophe.
I know.
That's a new low.
Yeah.
Roz is better.
El Hombre.
The natural meets Rudy meets. I don't even know how to describe it.
El Hombre.
He's here, everybody, every Tuesday at 5 o'clock. He joins us to weigh in on the world of sports like nobody else. The one, the only, El Hombre, Michael Bradley is here. How are you, man?
What's happening?
Oh, we're just going through Mariners piggyback situations with their rotation and injuries, all that good baseball stuff happening right now. But I want to get your take on a few different things. And one of the more interesting things has been this story about Brendan Sorsby, the Texas Tech quarterback. Apparently now, after all of the back and forth, should he play, teams threatening not to schedule Texas Tech because this is a guy who admitted he gambled on all these games, including games he played in. He's now planning to apply for the NFL's supplemental draft in what they call a stunning reversal in the saga over his eligibility. What do you think?
Well, here's what happened. And this is hilarious because when the Attorney General of Texas said, I will sue anybody who tries to come up with, go after Sorsby or Texas Tech. He didn't realize that in his memorandum that he put out, he actually gave the Big 12 everything it needed to file the suit in federal court, and it was going to be a loser for Texas Tech and the state of Texas. And this is an elected official. If you're a Texas Tech grad or fan, you better not vote for this guy. He's a knucklehead. So he got completely outsmarted. He flexed his muscles. Oh, come after Texas Tech, you don't have to deal with me. And they said, all right, we'll go to the feds. You're screwed. And so as a result, Sorsby realized, look, if I get into the supplemental draft, I can probably keep the money they gave me for coming to Texas Tech. I saved Texas Tech the embarrassment of getting, shot down in court. And, I can move on with my career. This is a guy who should not be playing football this year in the college ranks, period. It is patently absurd that we are at the point where the NC2A is so toothless that it can't enforce even the most logical and reasonable of its rules, which is if you bet on the games that your team is participating in, you cannot continue to be a college athlete. It's simple. It's basic. He should not have been allowed. We're talking $90,000 in bets.
Wow.
Multiple times. And as I've said before, I don't know if I've said it on this program, I teach a lot of student athletes. Every one of them, from volleyball to swimming to basketball and football, knows and is visited by people from the NC2A that talk about the fact that you're not allowed to gamble on sports if you're a college athlete. So there's no ambiguity. Sorsby is going to try to get in the NFL. Someone's going to take him. He's not going to be ready to play this year. But you know what? I hope that he's able to play in the NFL. I hope that he stops gambling. It's a real big problem for these young folks because they are seduced on a regular basis by commercials from the gambling companies that make it seem like it is the best thing in the world. Yep. The worst one out there is John Hamm, who's doing it for BetMGM. And I don't know if you've seen this one where he talks about the 4 friends who end up in a Vegas speakeasy. And he says it began with ringside seats from BetMGM. Now, right there, it's telling you you're going to get ringside seats from BetMGM if you gamble enough. Oh, and by the way, lose enough, because we're going to try to keep you on the hook by giving you a bunch of perks.
Exactly.
And if you do this, you'll end up in this cool place. So it's seductive.
You know, it's amazing to me, Michael, that the NFL isn't. I mean, it used to be. I remember when camp started, the security guy, the head security guy, would come in and talk about cocaine and how it's a lady that ain't got no legs. And then he was like, you know, Mr. Steele, leave him at home, talking about your guns. But then the other thing was the gambling thing, and how, like, you know, there's still a lot of, like, old school people in the NFL that, like, are like, don't mention anything about gambling, you know, and it's just weird to me that that, you know, that has changed so drastically.
Well, they see how much money's in it.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. The states are seeing how much money's in it. Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, they're pretty much 1, 2, 3 every year in the amount of money that's gambled. And the money that the state reaps from that is in the billions.
Yeah.
So this is something that they've said, it's a vice that we're going to allow, just like in Pennsylvania, they profit like crazy off of alcohol because you've got state-run liquor stores. You cannot go into a supermarket and buy any booze or wine. You can buy wine now, but you can't buy booze. That's in the state store. So, you know, they said we're gonna make money off of it, so we're going to allow it. And it's now something that is infiltrating America's youth at a high rate because they think, look what'll happen if I hit this 18 parlay. And then the next day it's like, I hit 7 of the 8. That's the same as hitting 0 of the 8. You lose. But they don't get it. You know, their frontal lobe is still the one that makes decisions, is still not developed.
Hey, I don't know if you knew this, but you remember Brian Bosworth, right? The Boz?
Of course I do.
So the Seahawks. So I was drafted by the Seahawks to replace Keith Butler, who was an aging linebacker, and he even told me that. He's like, you were drafted to you know, take over my position, so you might as well learn the game, and taught me during camp and everything. The day of my graduation from Stanford, the Seahawks got Brian Bosworth in the supplemental draft. And then the way that it was back then, like if you were, I think there was 28 teams then, right? Yeah. And if you had, like, you were the worst team in the NFL, you'd put 28 keychains into that had your little logo on it. And then, you know, if you were the Super Bowl winner, you put 1 in. And so I think the Seahawks were somewhere in between, like they had 15 or 16, and somehow that happened. But now I can't figure out how the whole thing is like some sort of weighted order, or, you know, as far as the whole supplemental draft thing goes, there's a lot of different things that are going on. But yeah, I think that was really like one of the few meaningful supplemental draft moments, I think, in NFL history.
All right, well, first of all, do I remember Bosworth? One year at the Turkey Bowl, someone showed up with jelly donuts, and we put the jelly on the side of our heads on our hair like Bosworth. Nice. He didn't use jelly. He used to paint it. So we were Boz.
You put jelly in your hair?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, remember he had those stripes? Oh, I remember that, but just put sticky condiment in your hair.
Well, then the other thing, Michael, is they made him my roommate. I thought that was particularly cruel.
Oh, my goodness.
But then we end up being friends, and he bought the house. He bought a house right behind me, and we had connecting fence and gate and all that stuff. But yeah, that was maybe the most significant supplemental draft. But anyway, that's where.
Chris Carter, the great receiver, was in the supplemental draft.
Was he?
Somebody who was. Yeah, I think there's a guy for Arizona that was pretty good. Was in the supplemental draft. I mean, it's not all Daniel Jones and Steve Walsh. Bernie Kosar was in the supplemental draft. So look, I'm rooting for the kid. A, to stop to be able to get clean of the gambling habit, and B, you know, become a productive player in the NFL. That would be great. Yeah. But as far as the NCAA goes, you got your rules. And you know, it's funny, on PTI today, Wilbon, I think, said that Texas Tech's going to look for another conference. Good luck, okay? Lubbock is like 152nd in markets, size of markets in the country. So who's going to – they bring nothing, right? They've been good in football for like 2 or 3 years, and it's because of one rich alumnus.
Yeah.
Their basketball program is good also, softball. No one wants Texas Tech. The SEC doesn't want Texas Tech, and Texas A&M sure as heck aren't going to let them in. The Big Ten's going to like, oh, yeah, we want to go out where the plane can't land because of the dust storms that come up. That's where we want to go. It's bad enough that our teams have to go to Eugene and to Seattle, sorry, but now we're going to go to Lubbock, Texas, all right? So it's absurd. They're a Big 12 team for life, and if they want to go somewhere else, maybe they can go to the Southland Conference.
Hey, so as far as the kid goes, Sorsby, A, do you think he's a pro prospect, like in terms of what you've seen from him? And B, if you're a GM, how reluctant or how much apprehension would you have with a kid who's bet on himself and going, man, I don't know if he's cured. I don't know, I know he's going to treatment for gambling addiction and all that, but that's an element, a guy that's touching the ball every offensive snap, who's got that kind of control, that's also had that history, would be frightening to me as a GM.
Well, there's no question he has talent. I mean, he's 6'3", 235. Texas Tech wouldn't have paid him $5 million if they didn't think he was any good. And from what I heard, if he'd come out this year, he would have been a late first rounder. So to spend a second or third round pick on this guy when you need a quarterback, that makes perfect sense. The question you're going to have to find out is you're going to have to, I don't know when the supplemental draft is going. I think it's in July. People are going to have to sit down with this kid and look him in the eye. They're going to have to find out how real this treatment program he went to is. Was this just going through the motions so he could play football again, or was this a real treatment program? Anyone who knows anybody who has any kind of addiction, whether it's substance abuse, whether it's gambling, whatever, knows that the 12-step program is real, and you have to work it every day of your life. Is he the type of kid who will do that? Because it's a very seductive world of gambling, and it's everywhere now. You walk into an NFL stadium, you're going to see advertisements for 2 or 3 different gambling sites, plus the sponsorships during the commercials during the game. So that's the biggest question for me. It's not talent. I think he's good. I think he can be a good NFL quarterback. It's whether or not he's really, really taken the steps necessary to stop and be able to stop gambling.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not like a prude or anything, but it bothers me that a lot of these, these companies, the gamblers are like, they're calling it trading instead of betting, and it's just it's amazing to me that the NFL has embraced that. But like you said,
it's Pottersville.
The money.
You know what? Are you familiar with It's a Wonderful Life?
Yes, I am. It's Pottersville. You're exactly right.
Exactly. A dime a dance, a bar on every corner, vices galore. And if you go to an NFL game now as a fan, you can buy beer just about anywhere. I'm surprised there's not a machine in the men's room. So you can just stand at the urinal, buy it, pour it in, and see it coming out. So it is a cash register, and it's built on fantasy football, gambling, the sale of liquor and alcohol, and that's where the money is right now. And the fans and the viewers and the people who go to the games are just lapping it up.
Bedford Falls is long gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
A dime a dance. Hey, Michael, what have the Eagles been on Hard Knocks before? I'm assuming they have, right?
I don't know if they have. I don't think they have.
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
No.
I was
They're the type of team that doesn't like to do stuff like that.
Well, there was always the rules that were in place that apparently no longer exist. But if you had a new coach, you were exempt from it. If you were in the playoffs the year before, you were exempt from it. But the Seahawks are in it this year. Obviously, they won the Super Bowl, so being in the playoffs, that rule is gone. But Dave and I have talked about it, love it. There are other people that hate it, feel it's going to be a distraction and it could have an impact on the season. I think that's way overstating things. But what's your take on that? Would you like to see the Eagles, your favorite team, be a part of that, or do you believe that's a distraction that could have an impact?
First off, I was wrong, sort of wrong. They were not in the training camp Hard Knocks. They were part of the in-season Hard Knocks.
Right, when they did the division. You're right. You're right.
It has become so sanitized now. It has become almost cliche, right? So here's what we got. We got the veteran. Now we've got the story of the underdog. and we're going to follow the underdog, and we're going to see his family come to the game, and we're going to see whether he makes the team. Every year we pick one of those guys out. We've got the crazy coach. We've got the GM who's got to break the bad news. We've got the meetings where we hear. So, I mean, it's almost formulaic in what happens, right?
Yeah.
The best part about it is the narrator, right? He makes it sound like
Shriver.
3rd and 6.
That's right.
Yeah,
Liev
3rd
Schreiber.
and 6 in the third quarter of an exhibition game is like Armageddon, right? All of a sudden it comes down to this. It's amazing. So he does a hell of a job.
Yeah.
I watch it sometimes if the Golden Girls aren't on. Kidding. If there's nothing else on. Although I love the Golden Girls.
Hey, most importantly, Michael, how do Bob and I get on Hard Knocks? What would be a good way?
You're going to have to broadcast live from training camp. You're going to have to find out in the first week or two who the guy that they're featuring is, the rookie or whatever. You're going to have to bring them on live with you and hope that the cameras roll while you're interviewing them.
That's a good call.
There's a chance of that.
Maybe Bud Clark, who's his heart dropped into his butt.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had that quote.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put Lefko on it.
That was
oh, good. Oh, that'll work.
Yeah.
How about this? Put that crack sales team of yours on it. You'll be so far from the television state network. Oh, my goodness.
Don't get him going. Hey, are you watching the World Cup? You're a soccer guy, aren't you?
Every minute that I can. I love it. I really do. I mean, I'm not a huge soccer fan. Like, I'm not a guy who watches a lot of the Premiership and all that stuff and MLS soccer. Compared to that, it's like watching the JV game. But I love the World Cup because it's the country's the national pride. Have you been seeing what some of these fans have been doing? The Scots and the Norwegians have descended on Boston. I don't know if you saw any videos from the Scots going to Fenway Park. There were like 5,000 of them there. It was the craziest atmosphere ever there. Then you see the video. I love this one. The Norwegian fans are going up an escalator. They sat on the steps backwards and pretended like they were rowing a longboat up as the escalator took them up. This is great stuff. The national pride, the people playing for their country, how important it is in other countries, right? Imagine what it was like in 1980 when we beat the Soviets, and then triple that, okay, in terms of the fanaticism that goes on in some of these countries. I mean, the fact that Curacao scored a goal against Germany, okay, they lose 7-1, but the smallest country ever to play in the World Cup gets a goal and is tied with Germany in the first half 1-1. That's a national treasure. They'll be talking about that forever. So I love the World Cup.
Hey, I know you're loath to root for any New York teams, but what about the Nova Knicks? You got Brunson, Hart,
Thank you for playing.
Bridges.
We got some lovely parting gifts. Look, I taught Jalen Brunson's sister Erica twice.
Okay.
Wonderful young woman. I taught Josh Hart twice, and I taught Michael Bridges' girlfriend one time. All she did was sit in class and message him. So I had connections there, but I don't care. Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time. Where did he go to school? Oh, yeah, Michigan. Yeah. Where did I go to school? Michigan. Did I ever root for the Patriots? No.
Yeah, wow.
Once they leave, they leave.
You're dedicated. You are dedicated.
And it's, I mean, look, the Knicks fans are happy. They haven't won since 1973. Everybody should get their Hawthorne Wingo T-shirt out or whatever. But they're now at Villanova. They're selling T-shirts that says Knicks in and then the Roman numeral 5, which also happens to be a V for Villanova. They're going to try to cash in on this. I'm surprised the Pope isn't up there, wearing a Jalen Brunson jersey or something.
You got to love how the fans in New York were celebrating by beating a school bus to death and setting it on fire. Oh, my God. And they're not unique, and I'm not picking on New York. This happens way more than it should in all of these cities. I never understood the being so excited about your team winning. I'm going to destroy stuff. I'm so happy. I'm going to break things.
You know what it is? It's the fact that it's two things at work. One is I'm the hardest core fan. I'm going to celebrate like nobody else's business. I'm going to wreck stuff. And then it's the third brick philosophy. A Stanford professor came up with it. If all of a bunch of people, 20 people are standing in front of a big window and the first guy throws a brick, you're not going to throw it. Second guy throws a brick, you're going to be, I'm not doing it. Third guy throws a brick, now we're all throwing bricks. So once somebody starts doing stupid stuff, everybody, if 2 or 3 people do it, everybody starts doing stupid.
So dumb. Just seeing the video of that stuff, I'm just going, what is wrong with you? It never has made sense to me, but okay. He is El Hombre, Michael Bradley, with us each and every week. You find him here Tuesdays at 5 o'clock. You can find him on Twitter at Daily Hombre, on Twitter. Michael, as always, great stuff. We appreciate you, my friend. We'll do it again next week.
So long, suckers.
There he goes, everybody. If you guys missed any part of that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. I like as you were getting into that question, he was already cutting you off.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Nope. The Nova Knicks. Come on, man. I love that he called, basically compared the NFL to Pottersville.
Yeah.
If you've seen It's a Wonderful Life, yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of
What did you
where
say?
it went.
Dime a dance bar on every corner.
There was. Yeah. Yeah, they're in Pottersville. But, yeah, good stuff.
Oh,
from
so
him.
funny. Yeah, did you see that video, though, by the way, of the Knicks fans setting a school bus on fire and, like, beating it with, I don't know what they had in their hands, but it's just,
yeah,
it's not unique. I get it. It's not just a New York thing. But
it reminded me of Idiocracy. There's a scene where everybody starts shooting up a car.
So dumb.
There's lots of things that are comparable to
Yeah.
Idiocracy right now.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Our thanks to Brad Barclay, Charlie Furbush, and El Hombre, Michael Bradley, all joining us on the show today. Really good stuff. So if you missed any part of it, you can find it on the podcast page at seattlesports.com. Click the podcast tab. Click on our picture. It's right there. Have a great night, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow right here with Wyman and Bob.
Here's the 0-1.
He's back.
Swung on. That is destroyed. Cal Raleigh, a massive homer.
He hit 5 of them in the last week in AAA.
Don't miss Cal Raleigh's return when the Mariners take on the Orioles tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40.
We just haven't talked enough about the fact that this team hasn't had the real Cal Raleigh for most of this season.
Listen to every at-bat wherever you are on the Seattle Sports app.
Bigger food needs call for even bigger savings. Get more at Chef Store for your restaurant, food truck, or event with warehouse savings on food service essentials and grilling favorites. Plus, we're open to the public, no membership required. Visit Chef Store today.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Making gas go further is on everyone's brain these days. And at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we've got a wallet-friendly way to help you squeeze more out of every tank. Right now, you can get a fuel system treatment and engine air filter, normally $48, for free with any premium oil change. Just head to VIOC.com/fuel offer and get this special offer now to help your car run more efficiently down the road. That's a $48 value from Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Get yours at VIOC.com/fuel offer.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You deserve a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Switch today. Get started for $60 a month for 12 months when you add an advanced solution to a qualifying internet package. Limited time offer. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and autopay with bank account required. Taxes and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Olympic Hot Tubs mid-year clearance event is on. Score big savings on saltwater hot tubs, saunas, and swim spas. Hurry, our mid-year clearance and these incredible deals end June 30th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Mariners and Orioles tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Drivers who switch to Progressive could save hundreds just by bundling home and auto insurance, because you can't go wrong saving money. Unless you spend it on a guitar, never learn to play it, but lie and say that you did. Then someone hands you a guitar at a party and asks you to play, so you decide to improvise this.
Well, don't you know that but that's not it. Dreams are fun and also good.
Yep, you can't go wrong bundling and saving money with Progressive. Well, depends on how you spend it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.